Hey guys, good morning. This is kind of the show before the show. As you know, we tried it a little bit yesterday. We'll get kicking here in just a little bit. Just looking at some of the lines, just want to say good morning. Happy Thursday, April 27th, as we get set this morning. Nothing like dealing with stuff in your normal daily life, huh, Pro Joe? we were as we were getting ready for the show today, man.
It seems like
did you break
anything
a
that
sweat
could go
today
wrong
yet?
went wrong today so far. So knock on wood.
But we made it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we're here. Well, at least we're getting ready. We're getting ready to start. That's for sure. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. This is an opportunity for us to kind of look at comments, headlines, kind of interact with you guys. We appreciate everybody jumping in when they see us. As we say good morning to everybody who jumps in bright and early before 8 o'clock. It is something that we had a lot of response yesterday. So it's something I think we're going to continue to try to do. Get in earlier and earlier. Obviously, this show, when we all started, was a 7 to 10 o'clock show. I know a lot of people were pissed that we took that 7 o'clock hour away. We're going to do some other things at that time. So who knows? Maybe we'll try to kick in at 7:30 again. Who knows? We'll see what we got going on. But it started out to be one of those mornings. That's for sure. Everything was going so smoothly too. Because Joe, you're a dad, Pro Joe.
I am.
I will not ever miss, ever, ever, ever. As much as we might hate to see our kids get older and grow up, I will never miss packing lunches ever freaking again in my. I've packed so many lunches in my life. It's like that's the stress of the bar. It's like, oh my God, we gotta get this damn lunch packed. For kids, and I'm sure parents, moms, dads who have to do it know exactly what I'm talking about. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Lizzie. Lizzie, of course, rocking and rolling. She is taking care of the chat line today from home, and she'll be back in studio tomorrow. Hey, speaking of which, this kind of being the show before the show, I want to give this out. Can't wait for our guest tomorrow. And special thanks to Alex McCarthy for helping us get this guest booked. I'm trying to find her again to see where I've got it. Oh, I can't find it. I'll try to find it here in a second. But for our Paranormal Free for All Friday, really looking forward to having tomorrow Lily Nova. She is a UFO and space photographer, extraterrestrial contactee, a CE5 practitioner, a cosmic channeler. Believe it or not, her story and footage has been published in mainstream media news, including the LED Bible and the Mirror. And she's been featured with our good friend, George Norrie, on his Coast to Coast show. So can't wait to have her on tomorrow as well. Big show we're going to have today. We'll tell you about it in just a moment. Oh, yeah, Heather, I see it. My son has 1 month of school left and then he graduates. Yeah, Heather, same with me. I have a freshman son as well, but he's fortunate where he goes to school that he gets lunch there. So I don't have to pack that, but I've got a senior that I help out in the mornings. Yeah. He's got 1 month left too. Actually less than a month, but my gosh, it's always like, I can't tell you how many trips to the grocery store later. Oh crap. I need that. I need lunch meat. I need chips. I need this. I need my fruit, vegetables, whatever, you name it. So anyway, that's definitely funny. So anyway, we're gonna get ready to get things started here on the show. Tabitha's walking in. Let me see. Oh, you put your makeup on this morning. She said she put some of them. One of these mornings on the show before the show, we'll watch Tabitha. We won't say anything. We'll just watch her put her makeup on. That might be a little creepy, but we're good. All right, guys. Tabitha, you get your stuff ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get the show started here. Okay. All right. Cancel this coming up in just a moment. All right, here we go. Let's get it started, guys. It is Thursday, April 27th. Hey guys, welcome in. There's lovely Tabitha.
I didn't know the camera was on.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I love it.
It's like canceling water.
Hey, we're real. We're raw. We're cancel this. We're going to put up cameras all over the damn place. I couldn't sell the other one, so we might as well hook them to laptops and put them all over the damn. We'll have like 8 different cameras. We can have up at least 8 different people. That's for
that
sure.
would be interesting.
Hey guys, welcome into the show this morning. This is Cancel This. CancelThisShow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Tabitha Hessel here. Allegedly, Eric Johnson's coming today. We'll see if that happens.
He says he is.
Lizzie,
I think he's scared.
Lizzie, we're going to put an APB out on Eric Johnson, a white middle-aged male, former rocker, currently playing bass in another band, wears a ball cap, generally good-looking dude, pretty nice guy if you find him. You can approach him. He's not dangerous. Just direct him as you would Joe Biden to where he needs to be. I'm Vic Faust. Pro Joe's in the house. You like that, Pro Joe, huh?
Yeah.
A man of many words.
Yeah. I can't believe he didn't show up yesterday. He was all this talk about, I'm on my way, and then just never showed up.
Because he got derunked the night before. Anyway, it's Cancel This. Welcome in, guys. Big show. The Lib Party starts at 9 o'clock. I love that. Looking at the line, somebody goes, hey, when's the Lib Party start? The Lib Party kicking off today at 9 o'clock. That's funny. I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to joke about that. Not this day and age. Brittany Robbins, she is a government affairs strategist for Strategic Consulting Capital. She is going to be in town. She'll be in here. We're going to need to make sure I get that name right. Hold on a second. Let me get down here as we get everything set up. She is with Strategic Capital Consulting. Brittany Robbins, she works in the building that we do. She's a friend of mine. She helped me when I needed some consulting. And I love talking to her because she has to bite her tongue all the time because she lives in a red state. She works for a bunch of red people. And she thinks we're all wrong. And everything that we have ever said, she's like, well, I'll come on and I'll tell you and your listeners and your viewers why you're all wrong. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, we joke and laugh right now, but no, she's great. She's a friend. And we all have different perspectives. And like I said, we broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, Monday through Friday, live, 8 to 10 a.m. Most of the listeners and viewers catch us after we're on. And by the way, the viewing audience, I found it was interesting in looking, and we continue to grow. Had about, I think, 180,000 views and watches last month, which was great. That was another all-time high. But 50% of it is in the St. Louis metro area. 50% is around the country.
Yes.
So it's like, there's growth everywhere, and there's opportunity for growth. So
people seek out the truth wherever they can find it.
Well, I hope that hopefully people are doing it more and more. As we've talked about the Tucker Carlson situation, maybe being the start of the end to national media. I mean, really, as big as Bill O'Reilly was and Glenn Beck, Tucker Carlson was even larger. He was. And we're going to get to his soundbite in just a second. He reappeared. Tucker reappeared. More news about Tucker. But at 9 o'clock, Brittany Robbins will come in studio to debate us, talk to us. We'll be kind and nice. I said, we'll be respectful to you, but our listeners and viewers may not be. And she's like, oh, I love it.
But see, if she's a moderate Democrat, I mean,
we'll see.
I work with a lot of Democrats. I, have a lot of liberal friends, and some of them even listen to the show and they'll be like, you know what? I like the show. I don't agree with anything you guys say, but I like the show. Moderate Democrats are a totally different animal than a liberal Democrat. So we'll see where Brittany stands.
And then after Brittany at about 9:40, 45, Jonathan Heslop, he is the owner of Rockwood Charcoal. His product is all over the place. And if you're a conservative and you want to support a conservative business owner, you're going to support Jonathan. He's going to be coming in on the show. He mixes no words. He's like, listen, I'm a conservative. I'm a business owner. If you want to hold it against me, that's fine.
Obviously, if he makes charcoal, he has to be a conservative.
Oh, yeah. It would make sense. But at the same point in time, he likes talking about what's happening. Very successful business owner in the area. So he'll come in and talk some politics with us as well. You're going to have your tab take today and you're talking about 15-minute cities. I can't wait. I don't know a lot about the topic.
Oh, it has to be discussed. It was actually Pro Joe's suggestion.
Nice job, Pro Joe.
Thank you.
And it's something that other listeners have asked us to talk about in the past. And it's about time we do, because you know what? These 15-minute cities are popping up. It used to be in other countries, Canada and Australia. Now we're seeing them here, right here in the United States.
Hey, Mary Jo thinks you're glowing today, so that must be good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, we know
Joe.
she didn't get any sleep. It's not
It's all that water I just guzzled. Actually, you know what it is? It's Scotty's cream. Remember how he gave me that CBD serum? Seriously, I've been putting it on my face every morning when I'm on my way here.
I swore by it.
It is. It's some good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Good stuff.
So with that being said, we got a lot to get to, and we're going to. But first, take a look at our sponsors, our partners who make all this possible, back in just 2 minutes.
And now it's here, the unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experienced Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Hey guys, welcome back in to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Tab of the Hassle, Eric Johnson in studio. We've got Lizzie Sparks taking care of the chat line, and Pro Joe as well. We got a very serious question. Eric, what do you need help with today?
Oh, no. I don't want to bring these people into my hellish nightmare.
Why don't you ask our viewers and listeners?
All right. What do you think I should get?
Okay.
A Sadowski or a Guild Pilot bass from 1983. One's vintage. And one is modern and expensive.
Guitars, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a loaded question because
they're both 4 strings.
We don't know what you have.
Then don't worry about it.
Okay, how many strings does a bass normally have?
How many strings does a bass need? 1. How many does this one have? 4.
What is okay? I'm a novice. Mm-hmm. What are the most strings that you've seen on a bass guitar?
Oh my God, there's one actually that has like 30. It's ridiculous.
How would you play a 30-string bass?
I'll send you videos. It's ridiculous.
Get the newer one, Eric, because you've got plenty of older ones.
Is that the suggestion?
Always get the newer one.
I'm getting the older one now.
I told him to get the pretty sparkly one.
Of course, the pretty sparkly one.
Yeah.
It is cancelthisshow.com. Your boy Drew says you can get a 12-string bass. but you said a 30.
Yeah, you can, but I don't want to sound like a Cheap Trick all night long. You know what I'm saying?
What's wrong with sounding like Cheap Trick?
Well, it's a thing, you know. I don't know. I don't think that Limp Bizkit sounds very good sounding like Cheap Trick. He's a little bit more generic.
Oh, I love Limp Bizkit. We gotta get some Limp Bizkit in somehow, somewhere, one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like I said, coming up, we're going to start with Tucker in just a few minutes. We're running Pro Joe all around. We're trying. See, Pro Joe says he's having to wait. He has to go get a doctor checkup before he can start working out again.
What?
But we're working his arse out all over the place here.
The first thing a doctor is going to say is go work out. What are you talking about?
Well, no, you gotta. Sometimes you gotta get the ticker checked out.
Really?
Yeah, just a little.
Yo,
bit.
to go lay in bed completely and do nothing.
Hey,
I don't think a doctor would ever tell you that.
Hey, Pro Joe, before you go in and try to take care of that, can we roll the Tucker sound, and then we can leave you alone for a while, and then you don't have to deal with us mean people.
Sorry, I'm just trying to accomplish a bunch of stuff.
He's doing a great job. He's multitasking like a bitch.
He needs an assistant.
Good job.
So basically, we had
Tabitha wants to be your assistant, by the way.
We had a sighting. We had a Tucker sighting again last night. I love the people, the Democrats, the liberals, and Republicans, and officials at the Pentagon. Why the hell they care what's going on with Tucker, I have no idea. Well, I know why, but why they shouldn't be. Tucker responded last night. He's not going anywhere. He will not be canceled. He will not be shut down. He will not be quieted. In fact, all this has done is put him out more. So,
well, did you hear last night here before you get started?
Yeah.
Fox lost 50% of its viewership on Tucker's time slot. So, which means he went from 4 million to 2 million, and Tucker's little release on his video went to 12 million views. So,
hey, who was the Fox host last night?
It was Kilmeade, Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah, he's better in the mornings.
Yeah,
he is the last guy that should be in that spot.
Agreed. I like him.
Well, that brings up a great question. Who's the first spot?
There is nobody.
There's nobody.
But you've always heard this, haven't you? You don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy who replaces.
He was the guy that replaced the guy with Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, but he already had clout. He was already rocking and rolling.
Bill or
no,
Tucker?
Tucker. Yeah, and you're right. He did replace him, but man, he had a lot of.
I just think Tucker found his voice to be super loud on Fox.
Well, here's Tucker. We were waiting to hear from Tucker. He did not address being fired, but he addressed other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Carlson reappears.
Good evening. It's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
See you soon.
Boom. Tucker Carlson. I thought outside of addressing tumultuous rumors and a firing, I thought it was spot on. Perfect.
See you soon on Newsmax.
Mhm.
See you soon. Is that what you're hearing, Newsmax?
No, I'm not hearing.
I was like,
I am hearing nothing.
he's not going. This is the end of media as we know it, and it's the start of independent stuff, just like we do. I talked about this a few days ago. Tucker has helped spawn some younger podcasters nationally that started a year, 2 years before us, and do a really good job on a national standpoint as well. He will have his own network. He's not going to go answer to Newsmax or OAN, even though they're fine networks.
I thought they were. Well, the scuttlebutt was that AON was going to make him the news director and give him $100 million.
Yeah, if they did that, he might have to take that.
Well,
I would.
But
I'd
who's
go
to
work
say
at
that
CNN.
I was reading that as a joke. That came out as a joke.
yeah, but AON apparently is it's a network that's put it together fairly well. It would be like, it's like you have The Voice, the network's there, there's no content yet, and then all of a sudden you bring in a Tucker. Don't you think that would be a very good marriage?
The best spot for him is independent.
Like
and then
Glenn
he
Beck?
does his own thing. Yeah.
Well, what did
do.
Glenn do though? I mean, you see Glenn every now and then on
Well, no,
some show.
you do because you're not looking for him. People who follow him know exactly
See,
where to find him.
I disagree with you
the
guys.
Fox
I love you
News
guys,
is-
People
but you're
who
wrong.
people who who follow Tucker will seek him out and they will go wherever.
That's what they said about
he goes.
O'Reilly.
Look what last night.
That's what they said
But
about
nobody
O'Reilly.
cares
But
about
Eric-
O'Reilly.
They did. He
Eric,
was
I never did.
$48 million a year, O'Reilly. Somebody cared.
The
Eric.
establishment, maybe Republicans.
Eric, you already answered the question, I
Yeah.
think. 12 million people tuned in for a 2-minute clip of Tucker.
Well, that's right.
They will
that
seek him
is-
out, Eric, wherever he
is
goes.
Let me tell
massive.
it is, but you're wrong because here's the deal: people in this country are short attention span. If they
Yeah,
don't,
That's
I
a
mean,
good point. They are.
it's the bottom line. If they feel like they haven't seen Tucker in a while, they'll find someone else to go after. And I'm sorry to say that it's like saying an NFL quarterback like Kaepernick left the 49ers. Now he's going to go play at the USFL, and the USFL is going to become huge because of it.
Not the
No,
same thing.
Not true.
You can't
Not
compare.
true.
You can't compare those. You know why, Eric? Because people seek out the truth. It's not about Tucker, the person. Tucker's just a guy. It's about the truth that he speaks. And
Yeah.
Americans want to know what the truth is, and they will go at any length to get it. And if
Eric-
they think Tucker is that guy,
Great point.
they're going to go
Tabitha.
find him.
Eric, here's your point. Thank you, Sherry. 46 million people now in about 12 hours.
Is that right?
We have never had anything like this.
Yeah,
in
but that's
America,
curiosity about what happened to the cat. Wait till he starts to talk about the
Oh.
nuances of Ukraine and Russia online, and people are like, "Yeah, I'd rather go watch TikTok." See, that's the problem that you have. Of course, everybody's curious about where the guy
Well,
is.
nobody's going to be watching Fox, Eric.
Well,
And we
That's
saw
to
that,
be seen.
And that's another one of your points.
that's
from
to be
last night.
seen.
You
Because
made the point. I agree with
Well-
the point you made. They had half the audience last night, and it's only going to go even lower.
And Eric, people follow. If you were to leave this show right now and go
Mm-hmm.
to another station, the people who like you and agree with what you say,
They
they would
wouldn't.
follow you there.
they wouldn't.
They absolutely would.
They wouldn't.
They absolutely would.
No, that audience would have to go
That's
through
funny because Tabitha believe
that audience.
I go there.
I've done it. I've done
Well,
it before.
anyone, and you too, Vic. I mean, that's the case with anyone. If people follow you, it doesn't matter who you are or what your thing is. If people like you and they like what you have to say, then they're going to go where you
No.
go.
Tucker Carlson, as long as he doesn't let a lot of time pass by, is going to keep most of that audience wherever he goes. I haven't seen anybody like this because we haven't seen anybody expose what he's been able to expose.
True story, what you just said, but I do still think that
Even liberals will watch.
even in the minds of people who generally are connoisseurs of news, and I don't mean to be pessimistic here, you still have to have the backbone of an NBC, CBS, and ABC to be on the top tier. Hold on. Then the second tier would be Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC. The third tier would be Newsmax, AON, and News Nation. There are tiered systems. So whichever tier, Chris Cuomo is on Newsmax. He does not have the voice that he once
he's on
had on
News-
CNN.
He's on News
Nation. I'm sorry. He does not have the voice. He's begging for viewership. They get 100,000 people a day looking at him, right? CNN still had 1 million people, so they had 10 times the audience. I'm saying this. I think Tucker was best served leaving Fox because he doesn't subscribe to that. I don't think he's coming back like you guys think he will.
Eric,
I think you're wrong.
but I have to tell you this, Eric. Eric, you just made a point that doesn't make sense when it comes to Fox News.
Okay.
Fox News was the top tier.
Correct.
ABC, CBS, NBC was the second tier.
Mhm.
Fox News is the number one watched of anything start in the morning to night. They blew out the network.
Right.
They're the elite. He was on the top tier.
Yeah.
So against that, but it also makes a point, Eric, I know it's hard for you being your
liberal?
age and
I
having
thought
the
you were saying half
experience you
liberal.
had.
Mhm.
Things have changed. Media,
little bit.
Media is changing, and it's changing fast. And now the independent networks, here comes the rise, especially when you have massive, and I mean massive people. And to take another one of your points, Joe Rogan showed us it could be done. And now Tucker Carlson is going to blast it from a news.
But Rogan came the other way. Rogan
Yeah.
came from UFC, where he was completely irrelevant as far as a political voice.
No, not politics. Yeah, he did it from the entertainment
Right.
standpoint.
And then he just kind of fell into it because he said
He
the
doesn't
I
really-
word
Yeah.
would solve your cupcake problems. I mean, you have to really encode that.
And Rogan did it
Yes,
with
you do.
guests because he had a long career in Hollywood, a long career. Tucker Carlson is
Yeah.
him. He doesn't need the guest.
He
does
doesn't
it
need
all.
anything. He
I-
doesn't need Fox.
Weren't you
He
thinking out
made
loud?
Fox. Think
Weren't-
about that.
Weren't you? No, he didn't. But
Yes, he did.
Fox needs him
no,
more.
no.
By far.
Trust me, Bill O'Reilly had a massive audience. Glenn Beck on that station had a massive
Yes.
audience. I'm telling you right now, Tucker fell into that time slot. He built up maybe 20, 30% of that audience himself. The other 70 was bundled into that time slot. So he did very good. His show was amazing, yada, yada, yada. He got fired because he probably said something wrong to a producer behind the scenes, really is what I'm hearing. Nothing that he said online. It wasn't about Dominion. It wasn't about any of this other stuff. It was because he called a producer a blank, is what I'm hearing. And that will come out and embarrass him, blah, 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 whatever. They're going to put another rock star in that time slot. They'll find him.
There
Watch.
aren't any.
Well, who knows? Maybe they go get
And
Megyn
maybe
Kelly
they
again.
do. And
I
Megyn
mean, who
Kelly-
knows what they do?
No,
Well,
Megyn
A,
Kelly's
it'll
not
never
coming
be
back.
Megyn
She's
Kelly.
always-
I just throwing it out there. But maybe there are conservative voices that are surprised.
There's a
Dana
lot of
Lash. Where's
good-
Dana? Dana
is
might show
not-
up.
There's no
No.
way. She's too hardcore. And
Well, maybe
too-
she is.
Too truth telling. They're going soft. They're going vanilla.
Okay.
And that's what they've been doing for a long time. They've been heading in this trajectory. They got all of their other hosts, evening hosts, to fall in line. Levin left because he's like, I'm not falling in line with this ridiculous. Hannity calmed down and stopped talking about the big issues. Tucker was the only one that held his guns and said, hey, I'm going to continue telling the American people the truth.
Mhm.
And that's why they keep
And
them.
here's the problem Fox has, and I could care less if they have a problem or not, is the fact that you're not going to have people who fell in love with Tucker staying at Fox. They're following Tucker where he's
That's right.
it's
Anywhere he
they're
goes.
like bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then where is Fox going to get the audience from? Is a new generation of Republicans all of a sudden going to go, oh, we're here now to watch Fox News and forget about that Tucker?
It's kind of
old Paul
like
Ryan
this.
is over.
Here's how I feel.
Stay.
I'm kind of excited because
this-
we're an independent
It's-
TV
it's
/
true.
audio podcast.
It's true, but we're part of the makeup of this big globule of podcasts, whereas Fox has the money and the arm to promote themselves.
People are
every
waking
night.
up, Eric, to how Fox is.
Maybe you're right. I
I've
don't
been
know.
trying to wake up people to how Fox National is for a couple of years now. And for and a lot of people, when I one of the biggest revelations I had is when Tucker left, and I still firmly believe he was fired. When he left Fox,
He was
all of
fired.
these people all of a sudden come out and said, we've always known how Fox was. We've always known, they've been changing. They've been doing this. They've been catering towards the establishment, and we've been done with them for a long time, but we stayed for Tucker. And those people are all going to go away.
It's
Yeah,
like
they'll
when
go away.
it's like when Jason Newsted left Metallica. Everybody thought, well, Jason will just Jason will go start a new band and they'll tour arenas as well. No, he didn't. He played at the pageants, and Metallica continued on and did stadiums.
Sometimes people
That's-
are better together.
Now this is more like this is more like Steve Perry leaving Journey, Eric. That's the best.
Yeah, but
analogy.
still, Steve Perry isn't going to go sell out 3 nights at the
meaning the band, the Fox band.
Yeah,
ain't going
sometimes you
anywhere.
just don't know what you have until it's gone.
They may have to go
In the
find a
immortal
Filipino
words of
news anchor
Cinderella.
somewhere to replace Tucker.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
and he may be all right, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be Journey.
yeah. Tucker Carlson is big. I think that they're idiots. I think that the Fox should have stuck and said, "Look, this is our guy. He has an audience. His voice is very powerful. Yeah, he might have screwed up doing this, this, and this. Get HR involved, fine him, whatever it is. But we're badass because we're Fox News, and he represents us. And I don't want our audience going the way of the dodo bird."
There's a lot of things.
That's how
Look
Rush.
what happened to Rush. Rush is iconic, in
What
the
about
conservative
Rush?
world. And he was completely on his own, completely independent.
Yeah, because
And when
local
he
radio
passed away-
stations like to make money.
Yeah, he made $880 million.
Yeah, because KMOXs of the world across the nation, I think it was like 780 stations, they like cash. That's the bottom line.
But
I'm sorry.
the fact is the reason why they chose him
Yeah.
to put on all those stations is because his followers followed him no matter where he went.
That's right. Radio's a
Anywhere
little
he
bit
went.
different bird, but yeah, you're right. And Howard Stern, you could say Howard Stern's the same way.
Yeah.
Howard Stern is actually a good example of that,
Yeah.
to be honest with
100%.
you.
He is.
Terrestrial radio, and he kind of invented or helped invent the whole satellite radio thing,
Yeah.
which is a subscription-based model. So who knows? Maybe Tucker comes out. Tucker's a lot smarter than the average bear. He might
he
invent
is.
something way
Well, see-
beyond what we're
Well,
thinking.
see, that's the other thing. And with all due respect to Bill O'Reilly, who had a long history as a news anchor, a talk show host, that sort of thing too. The thing that Tucker did on top of Glenn Beck and on top of Bill O'Reilly was he had a keen news sense and a great staff to find those stories. He was a little quirky, his writing a little quirky, kind of nerdy, smart, but when it needs to be a lion attacking a story, he did it. It also helped the fact that he had a lifetime of experience. His dad was a longtime media guy, so he was around it his whole life. All the chips were thrown in, all the stars aligned, so to speak, for him to be so good at what he did, which is why I'm telling you, just like you think of Eddie Van Halen as the best.
Oh, he was.
There's not going to be another. There may be somebody close, but there's not going to be anybody like.
No,
that.
there's players that play better than Eddie.
But
Eddie invented the genre of what
Bingo.
he does.
And then when we get into Tucker, that's why people will follow him. It's going to be big.
And he was a writer and researcher first.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Well, did you guys
That's how
remember
we
that?
started
You remember
going.
the old CNN show Crossfire or Point, Counterpoint,
Yeah.
whatever it was? It was
Yeah.
that debating thing where he went in and destroyed the liberal every single night. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? That's where I got really seriously.
That's
What
where
was
you
it?
grow-
1994, 92, somewhere. It was
where
a
you grow
long
your
time
chops
ago.
doing that.
And I just would watch it, and I had fun trying to figure out which one of these guys was winning the debate. Tucker just always wiped the floor with that other guy. I wish I remember his name now, but it was like on camera debates. And remember, Jon Stewart went on that show. Jon Stewart
Yeah,
went on that
he did.
show, and he debated against Tucker. And Jon Stewart was one of the only
John
guys.
did well.
Yeah, I was about to say he was one of the only guys I ever saw that made Tucker uncomfortable.
Well,
Go
John,
watch it on YouTube.
John had
sometime.
a very good way about him. By the way, you won't miss coming up at 9:00 if you're just jumping in. We've got Brittany Robbins coming in. She's a government affairs strategic consultant. She works in our building here, and she is 100% liberal. Mom, she's from the St. Louis County area, and she's going to come on to tell us why we're all wrong.
Damn.
And I'm sure she has a take when it comes to Tucker
Damn.
Carlson. But I still want the first question I want to ask her is how she can still support Joe Biden.
She doesn't.
She's going to say she supports.
I
Joe
wonder if she's
No,
going to tell us that
she
they
does.
should
She'll-
slow the bullets.
So we needed to promote that coming up at 9:00. You won't want to miss that. That's for sure.
Yeah, she'll say it on the air that she supports Joe Biden, but at home she's like crying in her pillow.
I
Trust me.
doubt it. I doubt it.
So we'll get back to the Tucker Carlson. This is cancelthisshow.com. Lizzie Sparks on the chat line. Pro Joe taking care of the engineering today. He's back down sitting, not sweating anymore after we ran him all over the place. Eric Johnson in studio. Tabitha Hassel here. I'm Vic Faust. We told you what's coming up at 9:00. Also, go to cancelthisshow.com to check out all of our original content that we do day in, day out. You won't want to miss tomorrow's guest. We have a terrific guest tomorrow. It's a free-for-all Paranormal Friday, guys. And we've got Miss Lily Nova. She is a UFO and space photographer. ET context, extraterrestrial
What?
contactee. She's a CE5 practitioner, whatever that means. A cosmic channeler. That'll get it.
She just made this crap up. I'm going to make a fortune fooling everybody.
She's been all over the world in all kinds of publications and TV shows, including with our good friend from coast to coast, George Norrie.
I love it.
So you won't miss Lily. We've got Lily coming up tomorrow. One subject that's come up that you may have heard of, or you may not know a lot of, are these 15-minute cities. Are you familiar with them?
I don't know what that is.
Tabitha is ready to do a deep dive.
Yes, we're going to talk about it. And Eric, I'm so curious what both of you guys think about this.
Dig in, teach us. Let's go.
We have a video we're going to show, but first I want to explain what a 15-minute city is. It's a new concept. It reminds me of, often I refer to us as serfs, the serfdom.
The plebeian serfs.
Yeah, back in
Ages.
the medieval times, there was the castle. And then around the castle were the aristocrats. Then around the outer ring would be the, let's say, middle class. Then the outer ring outside of that would be the peasants. And the peasants, of course, were supposed to stay in their area. The aristocrats in theirs. And they didn't cross over. They were.
Sounds like concert CD.
Yeah, they were.
It does. I'm in the mezzanine.
They were divided by, social class, by economic class. And they weren't allowed to go near the kingdom, of course. If you were the poor people, you got to stay in your area. 15-minute cities are a lot of the same concept. In what it is, it's based on, let's say, a neighborhood. Let's say if you took the Central West End.
Okay.
And it's self-sufficient.
Tabitha's talking about the St. Louis area.
Correct. The Central West End here in the St. Louis area, where it's a community. You have your grocery stores, you have your businesses, you have residential living. Well, let's say that they encircled it. And all of a sudden, they blocked all the streets off and they said, okay, well, you're going to become a 15-minute city. In 15-minute city being that you're going to stay within your community. If you live here, you're going to work here, you're going to shop here, you're going to conduct all of your business here. We're going to close the roads because you don't need to use your vehicle in your 15-minute city. You can walk or bike everywhere and to everything you need to do. And we're going to safeguard your 15-minute city. We're going to put cameras around it. We're going to put facial recognition systems up. So therefore, you're so safe in your 15-minute city. No one can come in. But guess what? Nor can you sometimes go out. And that's what has happened in China. It's happening in Australia. And it potentially could happen here because we are popping up these 15-minute cities. And the biggest problem with these 15-minute cities, and we're going to show the video that Pro Joe has, is that once the government has you self-sufficient in your little 15-minute community, why would you want to leave? Why would you want to
I
leave?
live in a place called Newtown.
Yeah, I know.
I live in Winghaven.
That's
I
kind
get
of a
it.
15-minute
We have
city.
cameras in and out of my neighborhood.
It depends. I mean, is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it a grocery store stock?
What
Is there a gas
And why?
station?
What are the bigger implications? What about the fact that we're already worker bees? Now they're going to divide us into social classes.
Allegedly. This isn't happening, people. Not yet. It's just happening in some
Well,
states.
it is technically
It's
already
just an
happening.
option, right?
Well, you don't have to move to.
You could live in
a
Forestel on
15-minute
10
city.
acres of property if you wanted
You know
to.
what? It is interesting, Tabitha. I'll come from the other side. I used to work with somebody who told me that she didn't want to leave her Ladue area.
There you go.
It was I've got everything I need, and Ladue is a very, very, very nice area in the St. Louis metropolitan area, and there are a lot of people that do that unintentionally. But you want the option to have your freedom to go other places.
You do, and that's how they lure you in. Oh, come into your little
It's the
city,
American
but,
way.
But the problem is what's happening in other countries with these 15-minute cities is that they're using these systems, these controlling mechanisms, not only to keep people out, but to keep people in. And it's divided up socioeconomically. So think about this. If you are poor and you live in a poor community, and you have low-class restaurants and low-class stores, you're stuck in that community. And if you want to come over to my 15-minute city and go to my restaurant, guess what? It's not going to happen because you're not going to be able to get past the security checkpoint.
That's not free. Okay.
They're going to say, this is already happening.
Wait a minute. So
I need to see
already
video.
happening.
I need to see video. This is why I'm so glad you were explaining this.
There's a lot of
interesting
video out there, but this is a video that we're going to play that this guy is creating a model of a 15-minute city.
How long is the video?
Just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Odyssey, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are in the description below. Enjoy.
I've had a lot of people asking me about 15-minute cities, and I've seen all these people who extol the virtues of 15-minute cities, that they're great things. and then other people who are very worried about what a 15-minute city is. And I know we have a proclivity in our culture, in our society today, that we have to rely on expert models before we can make a decision if something's good or bad. So I decided that I would create an expert model to help visualize to people what is a 15-minute city. So come on in, let me show you what a 15-minute community looks like.
Well, I'm excited to see this, Randy, because you always break things down into nice practical ways, right?
Here we go. These residents of the 15-minute community, they're not locked in, but they just stay there. They're free to come and go, but they don't.
Okay.
So let's take a step inside. Everything they need in their life is right here in their 15-minute community. A water bowl, a feed tray. They own nothing, but they are exceptionally happy. And you know how happy they are is by how many eggs they produce.
Happy?
No, he did not.
And it's so wonderful because
Sounds pissed off.
I get to take everything that they produce, and they just keep producing. So let me go in here. And here we go. Each of them have their own house. Now, in a 15-minute community, you don't get a lot of variation in housing. They're all pretty much the same. But we can take a look and collect their production. There's a few. There's a few more. And there we go.
And they're none the wiser.
And they're happy.
Yeah.
I get to take what they produce.
Yeah.
They're free to come and go, but the world is so scary for them out there. Yeah. They will never leave. I don't have to put a fence around them. And here we are.
It's an ideal world. I don't see anything wrong with it. Everything is provided for them. They're cared for. They're happy. They're together.
Yeah.
That dude's
It's
an
all
idiot.
convenient.
No, he's not.
What?
Sorry.
No, he's
Anybody who wants to understand what a 15-minute community
world.
is, here you go. And there's only one boss.
I get it. I get this.
And that boss provides everything.
I get it.
Well, they're lucky to have you, Randy.
The damn rooster.
I know.
But I should give them some food.
I hope everyone understands
get it.
the
Yeah,
concept here.
of course we understand
You
the
have
concept.
your 15-minute city.
Yes.
Everything is provided for you. You're all the same. If you live in your 15-minute city, you're all the same. You all live in the same house.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what.
All of your food is provided for you. There's nothing that you need or want. So why you're guarded? Why leave your 15-minute city? Why let people in your 15-minute city? Eventually, you're going to be like, well, I don't want anybody in my city. I like it the way that it is. I don't want to take
You
any
don't
chances.
promote this, though. You're just talking about what's out there, right?
Okay, do I promote what?
This. Do you like
A
it?
15-minute city.
You like the 15?
Of course, I don't promote 15.
Do you like it?
cities.
Do you like
I think
it?
it's a terrible.
I can talk.
situation.
I am prepared to talk on both sides of this. Okay.
I get it.
So here it is. This is the ultimate liberal Democrats' wet dream, is what this is.
It is.
It's a government that's taking care of you. It's not going over the top. There's no caviar. There's no lobster tail. There's no Escalades parked outside. They don't even have a garage big enough for an Escalade, probably. But there's safety. It's community. We're all the same here. It's all the same paintbrush. We get to go outside, drink our crappy wine together at night. We are going, there might be a lap pool that we can all get in with our kids. We're safe. The guy at the front with the gated community says you can't come in unless you have a pass. That kind of is cool. I get it. That sounds fantastic.
And everything you produce goes right up to the government.
However, there's a bunch of guys that like to get on big boats at the Lake of the Ozarks and make as much money as they can and be free and get on jetliners and go all around the world and party their asses off and have nice big yards in the backyard so they can take their guns and shoot things up. It doesn't work for everybody, but I totally see how the liberal class would love this. I totally get it. And it might be and you're right, there is there's pros and cons to both. I think.
It's more of the distribution of wealth, because what's happening is, not
and
every.
That's why I say liberals. Liberals love distribution of wealth. They love it.
Not every community is going to be safe. Not every community is going to be wonderful.
This one is.
You
ostracize the ones that are not good and kick them out.
No. Because the goal is that eventually some countries want every community to be a 15-minute city. They want everyone to live in a 15-minute city. And that means they're dividing you up by economic and social class. And what it is you're basically a worker bee. They're putting you in your mousetrap, and they said, we'll feed you the cheese. You keep on working. And all of that money that you're working for, everything you're producing is going
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Tabitha. You're the exception. You're not the rule. Government official comes up to you and says, Tabitha, we want to congratulate you. You have qualified now to be part of our exceptionally amazing premier community that's being developed in St. Charles. It is called the blank 15-minute community. Only a certain amount of people are there. You don't have to worry about food or this, that, and the other. All you have to do is go to work. We'll take you to the gates. You can take your car from there, blah, 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 whatever. Congratulations. You have to make the decision in 15 minutes or you're out. Would you do it?
No. But there are people who would. The problem is there are people who would.
What if it was like the Dells down there? What if it was like the Dells? You know what? You could say this. The Villages is a 15-minute community where you go to retire.
Sure.
Okay. That seems to be have worked.
And you're also a prisoner there and you can't leave.
That's why many older people don't want to go to those places.
You're also a prisoner there, and they're responsible for your health care. I mean, in these 15 minutes, it's the same thing. Your health care is within the 15 minutes.
I wouldn't mind being at Del Mar Gardens being pushed around in a wheelchair to my pureed steak sandwich.
We so need a sponsorship from Del Mar Gardens.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
I'll go to karaoke night every night in the piano bar.
You'll be a hit.
You know that's right.
Damn, I hear a lot of crazy.
Don't think I'm John Davidson there.
Except for that's not really how a nursing home looks like. What a nursing home looks like is you sitting on the toilet for 20 minutes, crying and begging for a nurse to come and pick you up and put you in your wheelchair. Have you spent any time in nursing
new
homes?
school.
That's what they look like.
I'm new school. I'm going to Del Mar Gardens and I'm going to be pushed around and I'm paying $50,000 a year to be pushed around in a wheelchair playing on my phone.
Yeah, but you get to do karaoke on the weekends. You're like the star of Del Mar Gardens.
Rockstar Bingo.
Playing tonight. Eric Johnson.
Well, I guess
that's right, Kevin.
You can live in the 15-minute city and let us know how it is. For me, it's no thank you.
These are stupid. These 15-minute cities.
I think they're smart.
It's dangerous.
I could see you totally doing down there at the Loop. I could see in those. It's a great development idea. Go drive through Newtown. It's a 15-minute city.
This is an interesting point.
But it's not a 15-minute city.
It is a 15-minute
We broadcast, obviously, all across the country, and we're based out of the St. Louis area, a suburb on the Metro East. It's booming. It's Edwardsville, Illinois. It's a great town.
It's beautiful, too.
It really is. Kathy says, just check out Edwardsville. They're creating them there.
Yeah.
They're building areas that are completely self-contained.
Why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you love to get it? Hey, I need waffle mix. All right, walk down to the grocery store and get it. Come on, man. That's a great idea.
The difference is you have the option of leaving and going to St. Louis
right now.
A
15-minute city isn't as confining as Tabitha's saying it is.
Actually, yes, it is. Pro Joe has something to say.
So, yeah, there's more to it. This is just the start of these.
That's exactly it. Just the start.
Once they get it all in place and everything, they're going to start constructing barriers. There's certain countries that are already doing this.
Who's they?
Yeah, who's
government?
They're doing it in Australia. They're doing it, obviously, in China. They've been doing it for a long time.
So they're restricting people under the name of environmental crisis.
Well, you can do that.
So they're limiting everybody's moves for the carbon footprint. So you can't leave those areas. You're only permitted to leave those areas a certain amount of time, and you can only go so far. Otherwise,
and only if you're walking.
You've exceeded your carbon footprint, and then you have to pay a fine or probably go to jail. I mean, there's a lot of places that are really getting strict.
Okay, well, then I got the concept wrong. Because I thought the concept was to develop communities that people wanted, that were like Newtown, that were 15 minutes here, there. You don't have to use your car. You get on your battery-powered golf cart and drive all around. You go to the pool. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Smoke screen, though.
Yeah,
that's
and then a wall is put up all around you.
That's exactly right. And Eric, that's exactly where I was getting ready to go, is that it sounds like a great concept. It sounds like somewhere you'd want to live. As a matter of fact, they want it to be appealing to you. Oh, come and live in your little 15-minute community. Yeah. Everything is here. You don't need to ever leave. Then the next thing you know, you can't leave. Mm-hmm. There are videos out there showing people in their vehicle trying to leave. They say, no, you can't leave. Well, why can't I leave? How can you hold me prisoner? And they said, because of your emissions. You're driving a vehicle. You can't leave your subdivision in a vehicle. And they literally make this person turn around. And they say, if you don't turn around, you will be arrested.
Angie tells us on the comment line, she's listening to us in the UK right now. She says they're doing it here.
What?
They are doing it in the UK. In the UK, for sure.
Are you kidding?
In Canada.
This is a real thing?
And in Canada.
China.
Let's imprison ourselves. That sounds like a great idea.
So
they're English.
Over in China, they have drones that are spraying COVID, like
spraying more COVID.
You mean
no,
like
not COVID? They're spraying
Lysol or something, like
right, something to get rid of COVID. They're just spraying all these chemicals with drones over these 15 minutes.
And China,
there's nothing to see here.
And of course, China is.
It smells
great. Everything they do in China is so extreme, but it's happening. It's happening all across the world. It's starting to happen here in the United States. Don't think it can't happen to you or happen into your community.
No,
because
I agree.
This is just the beginning. The goal is to have everyone in one of these 15-minute cities. It'll probably never happen here in the United States.
Oh, I disagree.
But that is the ultimate
Think about
goal.
how much this Biden administration has destroyed in 2 years and has implanted thought processes in 2 years. No more oil. No more oil. Battery-powered plants being built that are in concert with China in Wisconsin. I mean, these guys are stone-cold killers,
Eric,
man.
there's a video out there.
So I disagree. I think it'll be in your lifetime.
There's a video out there of a guy who lives in Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
And he wants to go to a coffee shop.
Okay.
It happens to be in one of these 15-minute cities. It's a highly rated coffee shop.
Yeah.
And he's walking and he's heading there, and 4 police officers stop him. And they say, where are you going? Do you live here? And he says, no, I don't live here. I just want to visit this coffee shop. Can I? And they say, no, you cannot visit this coffee shop. You don't live here. Where do you live? And he says, Alberta. And they're like, you leave now or we will arrest you.
For what?
Because he was trying
charge?
to enter a 15-minute city.
Oh.
And that's what happens. That's why I'm saying it divides people.
Maybe you're paying for the
class.
Exclusive nature of the protection. I mean, can you see? I mean, St. Charles right now has flyovers and helicopters protecting St. Charles from car thieves.
Very
So
different
it's
story.
Similar but different. It's
Very
on a
different.
smaller.
Think about if they created.
Well, wait a minute. What if the pact with moving in one of these things is we'll keep you safe, and if by keeping you safe means we'll segregate you from people we don't know, and we'll vet them before we let them in. But it's like living in a high-rise apartment.
Okay, but think about
with
this
a doorman
on a much bigger level. That if they segregate, let's just say as a far out example, they segregate all Americans, and every American is put into a 15-minute city. There's going to be some that are very on the low side.
This is very fatalistic.
Okay, now poor, I see where you're going with this.
Poor.
Yes.
All right.
I
was like, well, so what? Does none of this makes any sense?
I'm trying to explain it.
It's an Orwellian nightmare.
It's like the book 1984.
It's exactly like that. And we know that is where our country is headed. And trust me, we're just as progressive in this country as they are in Australia. Everything China does, we implement here eventually. Yes, we do. Digital currency. They had digital currency first. In China, there is no cash. They don't use currency for anything.
That's true. Okay.
And they do that so they can track all of your purchases, so they can track everywhere you go.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything you see in society going on right now that is pushing us towards that? Is the breakdown of the urban area, letting crime just run rampant? Are they doing that on purpose for that reason?
What'd you say, Joe?
Train derailments.
Yeah, exactly.
How does that figure?
Okay,
how
so
about being forced?
They're passing local legislature, and they're going to do it underneath everybody's nose, probably. where if there is a crisis, some sort of environmental crisis, that they can remove you from your property and move you somewhere else.
So Palestine, all the citizens of Palestine are going to be gone.
And all the other derailment cities. Yeah. I mean, this is just the start in my eyes.
Derailment cities?
No.
Wait till Winsville gets it.
See, that's what I mean by word vomit. Every time I talk, But anyway, yeah, every other derailment, the cities near there are at risk.
At risk.
No question. And Eric, you're thinking about the utopia cities. Oh,
Exactly.
Let's all
can't take
live
this
in
show anymore.
Newtown. Let's all live in Newtown. Well, let's say the Nike factory.
I wouldn't call it utopia, but go ahead.
Even though I think the Nike factory is like in China.
I'm always getting hit by a golf cart somehow.
So let's say Granite City Steel, because
there you go.
We know where that is. It's a steel plant in Granite City. So let's say they want to make a 15-minute city around Granite City, around the steel
They'd have to
plant.
get rid of the dioxin first.
Because you have to remember that 15-minute city means you work in your 15-minute community as well. Well, we all need products, don't we? So that means they're going to create a 15-minute city around Granite City Steel.
This is scary.
And their 15-minute city, it's not going to be as pretty as the 15-minute city.
In Ladue.
Let's say that's in Ladue.
Will Ladue have a 15-minute city?
Eric, I tell you this. None of us will be alive when this happens.
You don't think so?
It's already
not
happening.
Vic, it's already happening.
Everyone is
it will
forced
not
into
be
a 15-minute
happening in the
city.
United States of America in our lifetime.
Not where people are forced, correct?
Not in Missouri.
Well, wait a minute. You can slow walk this thing.
People don't have to force you, though, because they make it so appealing
right. You can
that you want to live in the 15-minute city.
That's the slow part, which is why I say it won't happen
They
in our
want
life.
Already
you.
eroding our rights.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Constitution.
They're
not
baiting
gonna,
you
they're
with
not
the free
gonna,
cheese, Eric.
They're not going to
Here's
be
the
able
free
to.
cheese.
Don't do that. The Constitution is not going to get blown up with dynamite. It's going to be chiseled away like a woodpecker.
Yes,
it's just going to. It's going to be like a Second Amendment. Yes, there is a Second Amendment. You have the right to carry guns. However, if you are crazy, if you have a credit score of 420, if you have a blah blah blah, they can chisel away at that Second Amendment.
People are no different than the chickens on the video, and that's why I wanted to play that video.
Look
People
how
are
far
no
we've
different
come
than
in
the chickens.
The Biden administration.
That's a good point.
Far.
That's exactly right.
I'll tell you what, I am
at a rapid pass.
impressed. I'm impressed how much damage the Biden administration has done without any kind of coherent
my example,
leader.
Somebody brought up, my example would have been, well, how has that happened? Well, people were forced to cupcake.
Just people
or lose jobs.
People are
that
stupid.
was the first one where I went, oh wow, look what government's doing. I agree with you, Danny, on that. But
I mean, who are you going to yell at when you get $5 a gallon gas?
Not happening in Missouri.
There's too many people.
I think you're wrong. I think it will happen in Missouri. I think it'll happen.
Tell me when.
It's already
No,
happening.
it's not. No, it's not.
Newtown is near a 15-minute city. Winghaven is near a 15-minute
You challenged me on it. When is it going to happen where you have a city and you're not allowed to leave your city?
I'm not saying where you're not allowed to live. I'm talking about a leave. I'm talking about a 15-minute city.
Oh, well, those are everywhere.
So it's a gated community.
So
that's a gated
and
community.
then it's a slow jump to not being able to live.
Okay, you're talking about imprisonment.
And I'm glad you brought up.
It's imprisonment.
So because what you're talking about,
and we got about a minute. We got to take a break because I can't wait.
What
to
I
talk
think
to our
she's
guest.
talking
I want to
about.
talk about Ladue for a minute.
Hold on. What you're talking, just because I'm asking, because I don't know. You're talking the difference of living in a new town versus living in a state prison.
Exactly.
I'm saying that,
Okay,
you know what, your freedoms
square
are taken
that.
away from you before your very eyes, and sometimes you don't
but
know.
at the end of the
that happened with the cupcake.
At the end of the 100 years that it would take to make this happen, it's the difference between Newtown, where you come and go as you want, have your friends over, have a party, and a gated prison that looks nice.
Until, you know what, until things get dangerous.
Correct.
They say, okay, well, if you don't live in Newtown, you have to show us a badge to get in and out. And I'll tell you what, Vic brought up the concept of Ladue and how he has a friend that lived there that said, hey, why should I leave? I live in a safe community. Everything I need is here. I grew up in Ladue. And I'm telling you what, it's talk about a lack of freedom in the city of Ladue. You can't even be in your front yard.
Okay, let me say this. Someone on this chat line just said this. Someone on the chat.
It's not.
Someone on the chat line just said this. They go, I wouldn't want to own a business in a 15-minute city. Could you imagine if you were the only one that provided bananas? You only get one bananas license and you're the guy. If people want a banana, they come to you. Could you imagine the monopoly that certain people would have?
That.
Oh my God, you would make a fortune.
But everybody's always restricted on how many bananas they can eat.
That's
because
exactly
of the carbon
right.
footprint.
That's right. That's same thing.
Exactly right. And Eric, a lot of businesses in these 15-minute cities are complaining.
Eric, don't worry. You're not going to be locked in anywhere in your
dead.
lifetime. It's not
I
going to
can't
happen.
wait to die now.
You're not going to be locked in unless we're taken over by another country or which I give that more. That has more percentage of happening than this out of nowhere. We can sell crickets. I like.
Vic is always so dismissive of everything.
Not everything.
You'll be the first person imprisoned in.
I think you guys are a lot of. I think you guys are a lot of conspiracy theory on this show.
Vic will be like, "Oh my!" In 2 years from now, we'll be on the show. Vic will be like, "I moved into this neighborhood, and everything's free. My house looks just like my neighbor.
Free. That's because you're Vic Fowles, for God's sake.
I love living here. I don't ever have to leave. I'm going to be doing.
Have you ever been to Napoli with Vic? I'm sure that the seas part. You go into Napoli and it's like all the ladies' heads turn. That's how it would be. That's how it would be.
I wish. Hey.
In Vic's 15-minute city. That's the name of my new song.
That's going to be his 15-minute city.
15-minute mind.
He's going to make sure he's around Napoli for his 15 minutes.
Sorry.
Hey, guys, let's cancel this show.com. Pro Joe. Joe, it's good to hear you talking, my man. Eric Johnson's here. Tab of the Hassle, I'm Vic Faust. Lizzie Sparks taking care of the chat line. She'll be in tomorrow. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Like, subscribe, share the show as always. When we come back, we've got a guest. We can't wait to talk to our guest in studio. We've been promoting her. Her name is Brittany Robbins. Brittany's a government affairs strategist with Strategic Capital Consulting. She's going to come on and tell us why the show is wrong and why our takes on politics and conservatism are wrong.
We don't have any takes. Do we have any takes?
She's a friend of mine. I told her we'll be respectful. We'll talk.
Of course.
I said the listeners and viewers may not be, but she has to grin and bear it and bite her tongue a lot in the red state of Missouri and working with a lot of conservatives. But the first thing I'm going to ask her is how in the hell she could even support Joe Biden. Yesterday he had another cue card.
That's your first question?
Yeah. We'll go from there.
Okay.
All that crap will roll down.
All right. I got you.
Brittany Robbins coming up next here on cancelthisshow.com. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. We're back.
Guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the cars.
Carroll House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. By the way, special thanks to our show sponsor, Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Sparks Crew, 6 locations across the St. Louis metropolitan area, climate-controlled facilities. That's right, you're not going to find a better place to work. You're going to get paid more. Give Complete Auto Body Care and Repair a call. You go to CompleteAB.com. Once again, CompleteAB.com. They need technicians. They're ready to bring you right in right now with all the climate controlled. Also, special thanks to Renewal by Anderson. Get a free quote. Go to our partners page at cancelthisshow.com. Renewal by Anderson. You can get a free quote. You have a link there. You can do it from an email, or you can just give them a call. There's a phone number on our website at cancelthisshow.com. It's under the partners page as well. And of course, if you'd like to donate, you can go to cancelthisshow.com. Donate to the free speech that we do as well. And of course, check out all the partners we have as well. Of course, we're a live show Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And of course, you can catch us all the time on our site with all of our original content 24/7 at cancelthisshow.com. Lizzie Sparks is running the chat line. Get ready, Lizzie, because I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of comments coming up in just a second. Brittany, you may not want to be checking out the comment line, or you may want to.
It's not going to be that bad.
In just a second.
She's not like the devil
Joe,
or anything.
Joe, turn her mic on. It's time to fire her up.
Pro Joe is here. Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. First of all, Brittany, if you could, welcome into Cancel This Show Studios.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And with that being said, tell everybody who you are, because all I've told people, I've given them your title, and I said that you're a friend of mine, and I utilized your services in the past, and I consider you a friend, even though we differ on the political side of things.
Now you're just kissing ass.
No, that's how we started.
Okay.
You ease in.
Okay.
Nice
Gotcha.
intro. I appreciate that. I'm so nervous.
Why?
Since I've been in this building.
And real quick, can we put your mic to the side?
Oh.
Joe, and then, put
so
now
you want people to see what a real liberal looks like. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
A real liberal is hot.
No.
Yeah.
You put it to the side.
This is what
You're the
like,
first.
and then you look forward.
You're the first
I
attractive.
don't look at you.
No, you look at the camera as much as possible.
This one right in front
one
of you
in front
with the
of
little
You
green
guys
thing.
need work on your
I
desk
know.
prep.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Joe,
Joe, nice
Joe,
job.
your fault. You
Look at
told me
Joe.
you take care of it all.
Yeah.
I don't have a chair. My headphones
The chair
are
I
too
apologize
loud.
for. but
Brittany is the
mic-
first
mic-
Brittany is the first attractive liberal I've ever seen in my life, for real. It is.
Oh,
it
the
is-
camera.
Yeah, it is just not a liberal's thing to be attractive. So good, congratulations, you won that battle already.
There are more of us.
No, there is not.
Yeah,
I've
I
looked.
promise.
I've looked everywhere. Trust me.
You might be the problem.
I might be the problem. I'm not in any of those camps. I'm just saying.
You might be the
It was a compliment.
Brittany,
That's all
tell
it
us who you are, what you do, where you're from. Give us a little bio about yourself before we get into this stuff.
Sure. So real quick, the list, the audience, mostly
Yeah.
St. Louis. Is that right?
We're
It's
about
all over.
You know what? It's all over the country.
Say hi to Australia. We have Australia.
Oh, the Down Under. Yeah, I've been hearing about this.
Those are your people.
15-minute city. So Brittany Robbins, born and raised in St. Louis, proud St. Louis. And I've been working in and around Missouri politics for, I guess, almost 15 years now.
Yes.
Government affairs strategist is probably the most general title for me. My background is primarily in, news, TV and radio news.
Where'd you go? Where were your news? Where'd you cut your teeth on news?
So so my first job out of college was at Channel 11, KPLR.
Okay.
Oh, in the St. Louis
Before
area.
it had merged with KPVI.
Wrestling at the Chase.
Exactly. Yeah. Rich Gould, all those guys.
Richie.
Remember him? Rick Edlin.
I've worked with
Katie
him many times.
Jamboree.
I've worked with him a lot. Yeah.
Good people. So I started there and then made the jump over to radio, KTRS Radio. I produced for McGraw-Millhaven a little bit.
Yeah.
It was Vic Porcelli and Katie
Porcelli.
Jamboree. And I caught the political bug producing the morning shows there with the 2007 primary with McCain and Obama. I really caught the political bug. I was fascinated with the conversations that I was hearing in public between people who normally we're not talking about public policies, politics, campaigns. We're really engaged. I was like, this is awesome. This is cool. I want to be on the other side of this, though. I want to be facilitating those conversations, not covering them. And then I guess in 2010, I did everything I possibly could to get into politics. My first campaign was a U.S. Senate race, Robin Carnahan. We got smoked. We got our asses kicked bad.
In Missouri, though.
Yeah, it was. Yes,
Yeah,
in
I mean,
Missouri.
yes.
My turf was St. Charles, so it was tough turf.
Yeah, that's not. You're not
back then, even tough turf for Democrats. But I loved what I did. I loved the people that I met, and I from there on for the next 2 years until 2012, just did crazy stuff.
Yeah,
trying to get into politics.
You're fascinating though, because the fact of the matter is you're from a red state trying to do blue work in a red state.
I'm not from a red state.
St. Louis?
I'm not from a red state. You have to remember the history of Missouri. It was a blue state. And then if anything, it was a purple state. It was a bellwether state. Now it's a red state.
She is right.
You're the person you realize you're the person I talk about all the time on this show. I go, you are not, AOC does not represent the General Motors blue collar person.
Not even a little bit.
So look, I'm nothing. You're going to notice that real fast. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't even know how to label myself.
Yes, you are.
But I do say, I'm like you. I'm able to stand up here and go, I just don't get how AOC's Green New Deal jives well with these blue collar cats in Missouri and why they would even vote for that. I cannot.
I'll tell you why blue collar cats in Missouri should vote for
that.
Is because climate change
they're destructive how they're doing it.
Going to create an economic crisis in this country.
No,
yes,
because
it will.
The first thing
we are not going to be able to afford to continue to clean up and rehouse and rebuild all of our infrastructure every time there is a natural disaster.
Hold on.
Eric,
we won't.
We got to do a basic.
Eventually, we are going to have to hold our noses and address climate change in this country.
Climate change or pollution? Because they're two very different. There's no.
I disagree with that.
There's no such thing as climate change.
I completely.
Well, hold on.
disagree
Before
Any
you do it,
scientist that hasn't been paid by the government.
You
will
seem
tell
like the kind of person that we got to bring facts before I could change your mind. Correct?
You're not going to change my mind on climate change.
Okay.
You're not. I'm dug in on
Hold
that.
on. I already changed AI, ChatGPT the other day. I changed its mind.
This is different.
So this is what I have to say. I go, if the messaging that you're hearing from the first one, the godfather of all this, Al Gore, he did a thing called That Inconvenient Truth.
He did.
Nothing, 0% of that presentation is accurate. Nothing. Not like 4%, 0%. There are beaches still in Miami.
Do you agree that in the last 10 years, we have seen weather patterns like never before?
1 million years.
Are not for the better.
Millions of years.
The weather is cyclical. Any true scientist will tell you that they can go back and they can study geology. They can look at Earth's sediments over many thousands to millions of years, and they can see that the same weather patterns we're having now we have had in the past. The Earth regenerates itself. We go through warming periods. We go through cooling periods. Right now we're in a warming period, and soon the Earth will begin to cool again. And then we'll go through another ice age somewhere down the road. The Earth is going to continue its cycle. Little man, there is not a darn thing we can do. Now, pollution
what she's
is a whole
saying is
other
right.
Story.
The weather cycles happen in 10,000 year cycles.
That's what Dave Murray. Do you know who Dave Murray is?
I've heard of Dave Murray.
Dave Murray told us there's no such.
No, I said it and he agreed with me.
Look, damn, relax. I've been talking to Dave Murray about this before I even knew you.
I
Dave
understand.
Murray is a meteorologist.
Yes.
He is.
Get him on the phone.
He is a scientist, and he says that it's not really happening.
I don't agree with that.
But why do you not agree? Do you see things in your own life that you think?
Let's listen to her.
Thank you, Vic.
Thunderstorms.
Well, sure. So last night I was watching NBC Nightly News, California. Now they're dealing with flooding.
I was there with flooding in 1993.
And they were dealing with a drought, a couple months ago. But the Earth replenishes
our
itself.
increase in forest fires, our loss of coastal line, the increase in tornadoes, increase in
let
hurricanes.
her finish.
Don't yell at me. Here, let me say this.
I want her to finish.
Because every time you say something, though, you have to go back to the 1920s where there was a Dust Bowl in Kansas. There was no industrial production then. There was no carbon that was in the atmosphere. How do you explain Kansas being a complete dust wasteland?
Well, that was one place. How do you explain natural disasters all over the country?
They're always happening. They always have for
It has
millions
not
of
always
years.
happened how
For
it's
millions
happening.
of years.
It has not always happened how it's happened. It has not always been whether the lead story in the news every night. You can't.
That's media manipulation.
That's media.
That's just
You're
propaganda
in media.
and
the
media
media. Oh, it's
manipulation.
just the media. I can't improve
You're
my
in
argument,
media.
so I'm just going to blame the media.
No, it's the fact that the
Oh,
wait a minute.
scientists.
media.
Why doesn't the
You're the media?
Why doesn't the media take on a very serious thing, collusion by Hunter Biden and his dad? You never hear the media bringing that one up, but they'll talk about
Collusion
climate
on
change.
what? Collusion on what?
The fact that he's anyway, I'll move
That was
on to
quite
that one
the
later.
transition, by the way.
Yeah,
We went
can
from
branch off.
weather to Hunter Biden.
Okay, we'll
I
go
wasn't
back to
ready
weather.
for
We'll go
that.
back to weather. Here's the deal. Do you believe that AOC's prediction of the Earth being gone in 12 years, which now we're 4 years into that, so we only have 8 more years, and we have changed nothing carbon output wise, will we be gone in 8 years, according to AOC?
No, AOC is
Then
a
there you go.
sanctimonious idiot trying to
that we
money.
have common ground.
Why? Well, then why won't you say if
I
that
just
moron
said it.
if that moron says it? Maybe climate change isn't real because that's what gets into the news cycle, right?
Because AOC said something stupid, all climate change is wrong, is not true. I mean, that's pretty simple-minded
I would
opinion
argue
there,
with you going. I would argue with you like this. When that Al Gore thing came out, a lot of us, hold on, Vic, a lot
And
of
then we're gonna have to
a lot of us held our heads like we put our head on. We're scared out of our ass. We're dead. We're gone. And then all of a sudden, nothing came to fruition. We were like, wait a minute, this was a lie. This was a lie. And we don't even know why there was a lie going on. I will grant you this. There are features that go into our atmosphere, carbon, that are washed out very naturally by nature. I mean, it is a cyclical thing. You can't just...
Are you a scientist?
I study
Oh,
enough.
you're not.
But you're not a scientist either.
No,
None
neither
of
of
us in this
none
room.
of us
none
are.
of
No,
us in this
but
room are
we get to
scientists.
surmise what is told to us because we're smart individuals.
I just can't ignore the fact that I am seeing with my own eyes massive, extreme changes in weather patterns.
They're not.
And the climate.
They're
Because
not.
you weren't alive 300 years ago to see the extreme changes, and none of us were. But you know what? The Earth was, the sediment was. They can look through the layers, and there's a bazillion reports on it. You can read. I don't have any of them with me, of course, but you think you can easily look them up. And where they dig down through the Earth, the geologists look at the different sediment, and they can see that we've been through droughts, we've been through cooling periods, we've been
Floods.
through warming periods, we've had massive
Icing.
floods, we've had icing, we've had tornadoes, we've had hurricanes. That's just the Earth, and it's going to be that way whether man is here.
Good point.
Or
What,
not.
94? I mean, that was 1994.
It was. Brittany, just real quick, setting the stage. How did you become liberal or a Democrat? And like, when was that?
Oh, that's a good question. It isn't like a defining moment of when I wouldn't describe myself as liberal at all. Ever.
How would you describe yourself?
Moderate.
Okay.
There are days that I'm aligned with Republicans on issues. I don't want to defund the police.
Okay.
Don't send a social worker to my house when I call 911. Send a police officer. I don't want to defund the police. I very much believe in public safety. On reproductive rights, on women's rights, the women in this room have less freedoms than the men. I'm very liberal. In Missouri, we have less freedoms than you. So you're going to find me to the far left on that.
No, I'm with you in there.
I will never argue with someone on abortion.
Right.
I would never do that.
Right.
I will argue with you on that I should be in charge of my own body. If I leave this place and I get raped, and I'm raped and impregnated,
that's less than 2% of abortion.
Well, hold on.
It is still 2%. And I actually don't think that's true.
She's right.
I've seen stats, I've seen numbers that conflict with that. If I leave this studio and I'm raped and I become pregnant, I have to have that child according to Missouri law.
You don't have to have the child. Eric,
I do.
I'm the
Yes,
woman,
I
so
do.
Can I talk about
I
this?
do have to have the child.
Go ahead.
My issue with abortion,
No. Explain to me how it is in the state of Missouri that you wouldn't have to have the child.
If a person is raped, you do have the option when you go in and report a rape to the police. A lot of women, I realize,
so I've been
don't
sexually.
always report rapes.
I went through this.
Yes.
So come with the facts.
And if a friend of mine was just recently raped here in the state of Missouri, and when she was raped, she did report it to police. She was taken to the hospital. They did a rape kit. As a matter of fact, it was out in Lincoln County, And they took her to the hospital and they offered her a pill. And they said,
that's not an abortion. That's not abortion. No, you're not saying the same thing.
No,
you are not saying the same thing. If I leave this studio and I am raped and I get pregnant and I choose not to come forward, right? I'm afraid to police.
That's your problem.
But I don't want to keep the baby.
That's your problem.
But I don't want to keep the baby. I have no rights.
You shouldn't have a right. If you get raped, you call the police and you report your rape. If you don't report your rape,
it is not
your
responsibility to tell women if they should or should not come forward if they're sexually assaulted.
Yes.
You don't know their journey. You don't know their path.
I don't need to know.
You don't know who the perpetrator is.
It doesn't
if
matter.
I am sexually assaulted and I am raped and I become pregnant in the state of Missouri, I do not have rights to abortion.
It's less than 2% of cases.
Let's talk. You don't know that. No, you're not going to change the subject on this.
Let's talk about
me.
The 463,000, I think it was, abortions. I don't know if that was last year or the year before. The very tiny percentage of those were women that were raped. In fact, the majority of those women who got abortions were the same women who received multiple abortions. So instead of Democrats pushing abortion, why don't we instead encourage
Democrats
abstinence?
Aren't pushing abortion.
Why don't we
You go to Jefferson City right now, the legislation that's filed that pertains to abortion is by Republican men.
And Brittany's talking about Jefferson City.
And you're talking about the rhinos, Republicans that are just as bad as the Democrats.
For our
I agree
listeners
with
around
you.
the country, Jefferson City is the state capital of Missouri.
We should be promoting birth control and abstinence.
I agree.
Because you know what?
I agree
Too
with
many
you.
people in this country, and my problem with abortion, I am actually not for banning abortion. My problem in this country is that so many women in this country use abortion instead of birth control. They use it as a form of birth control, and it makes me sick.
Okay. Can I ask one question? Just
Yes,
because
of
I
course.
think you guys are having a great debate. And I don't feel like me or Vic can, in this debate anyway, jump into it. I mean, I'm sure we might have some ideas. Is there any common ground between what Tabitha is saying and what you're saying? Is it something where you can say up to 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 15 weeks, you would go, okay, I'm cool. I get it. There's a life involved, yada, yada, yada.
100%.
So how does that square?
Abortion should be few and far between.
So not like third trimester
I
stuff.
agree with her. Abortion should not be used with birth control. There's no reason for that.
Right.
And that's
hand that shit
unfortunately
out
what's
like
happening.
candy.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, that's a woman's right.
Bathrooms,
I mean,
tampons, birth control.
If I was to play the devil's advocate even to myself, I would say, well, who are you to tell me that I can't use abortion as a birth control? Screw you. I'll do it if I want.
I also agree with you on that. I am for personal freedom.
That's a libertarian, I think.
I'm for personal freedoms.
libertarian, but I do believe a man should be involved. It took two to get in that situation, and it should take
So you have
two,
to have a sign
even
off?
if it is the woman's body
Okay.
that is there. It should be a man and a woman. But then again, at the same point in time, I know you're going to find a lot of guys that aren't freaking doing what they should be doing and stepping up to the plate as well.
Oh, damn.
Having a child does not impact a male like it does a
Sure it
female.
does.
It does not.
Listen,
It
if
does not.
you're a
hey,
man
my
doing what you
babysitter
should be
just
doing-
quit. My babysitter just quit. It is not impacting my husband a bit.
Yeah, but it should be.
Not a bit. It should, but it's not.
It does because he makes you mad and then it gets him mad.
Well, now we're.
Well, I like
Aha,
your, I
see?
like your
I would-
husband, or I would
Cause and
say you need
effect.
another
I like him
husband.
too. I like him too. But there are
It's indirect.
my daughter, me having a daughter, my pregnancy, what comes the first year after that, holy shit, no one told us.
No, I get it.
Did not impact my husband at all. Maybe he was a little tired.
I'll
he was a
agree
little-
with you. You know what?
But all the things that
I'm
come
with
with
you.
it.
A woman's body is a woman's body. It's
So
not
a
man's
couple of
body.
things we've talked about, right, that are just hot button issues is the climate. I don't believe I believe we can mess this country up a lot worse if we don't become energy independent until we get to an age when I don't even think it's going to be electric cars. Personally, I think it's going to be hydrogen cars because it's renewable. You can refill on a long trip. It just has a lot more benefit. And I'm cool with not sending any carbon into the atmosphere. Trust me, I am. But man, you cannot rip the Band-Aid off this. This is a slow tear. We got to be careful how we do it. And I feel like this administration is just going above and beyond to demonize the oil industry when the oil industry, and I know you'll agree with this, has built this country to what it is right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we have to be careful
Oils,
on that.
yeah.
Easy.
Right. And you already said that crime is a big part, that you're out on this kind of St.
Don't
Louis
defund the
defunding cops kind of a thing. How do you feel about St. Louis and the Kim Gardners of the world running what used to be one of the greatest cities in the world?
Right.
True. I mean, do you have a voice that says, St. Louis, get your act together?
And it's not just St. Louis. This is Chicago. It's Minnesota.
I mean, pick your poison.
Minneapolis. It's Dallas.
I mean, maybe we all in this room, we can all see the ideological social effects, but at some point you go, just prosecute some cases and put people in jail.
So I do not think what's going on in St. Louis is necessarily the same things that you're seeing like on the south side of Chicago that we've been seeing for some time. I think what's happening in the city of St. Louis is a perfect storm. And it's not fair to lay it all at the feet of Kim Gardner. Kim Gardner should have resigned a long time ago.
Ooh.
She has lost the faith and the trust of the public.
Yes.
It is my opinion that she is a public safety issue and needs to go.
I'm going to use that.
But to say that this is all what we have, the war zone in St. Louis.
And it is.
If you're a child in the city of St. Louis, it is more likely that you die by gun violence than in a car accident.
Yes.
We can't lay that all at the feet of her. We need.
Who do we lay it to?
I think it is a true perfect storm. There are not being public policies created that create economic opportunity in some of the neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis that would give a person the reason to go to work and clock in versus picking up a gun and slinging drugs on the corner.
Now, that being
building
said,
a soccer stadium, and having ribbon cuttings and talking about how good we feel about each other in the city of St. Louis does not do that. We can't have calling all cars at the soccer stadium in the city of St. Louis so white people can feel comfortable and then send them all home when the soccer game is over and expect things to change.
But okay, I see what you're saying there. But
and then
as a city, you have to protect the people who are paying the bills. If it's white people coming in from West County to go see a soccer game or a Cardinal game or a Blues game or go to the big Ferris wheel, you better protect them
100%,
because then your base is completely gone. Once people abandon St. Louis, remember this, and I always tell people this, in the 60s, East St. Louis was a beautiful place to live. Think about that for a second.
Go up in North City, some of those homes in North St. Louis.
Oh, what a great point.
Gorgeous homes.
And now they got to be dilapidated and probably ripped down eventually. But you could have saved them all. I don't know what the dynamic is, but it seems like, and AT&T is gone, KMOX is leaving. Everybody's leaving St. Louis because it's not safe. And they're going to safe places like St. Charles. I think that you have to have a mayor in there that sees economic development. They see safety first and foremost, and they make wise decisions. And I'm not sure that the leadership there has done any of the above.
So again, you cannot place the current situation of St. Louis City. It's outrageous at the feet of anyone in office right now. It has been a problem that has been building.
But when did that start?
Stop?
And then we're not this. Yeah,
was that in the 80s?
Let her finish that question. We'll move on because we've only got like 15 more minutes. We got major issues to talk, not crime.
That is a major issue.
It is. But yeah, she's been talking about it for about 8 minutes.
Okay, but it's important.
Is that how long it's been?
Yeah,
it's important because I think it's the bedrock of a lot of the problems that this country has.
Sure. So if I was St. Louis Inc., if I was Jason Hall, if I was the Taylors, if I was St. Louis Inc., all I would be doing is raising money, coming up with grant, scholarship programs that created economic opportunity that meant jobs, education, stability for minorities and Black people in the city. I would not be screwing around with soccer stadiums. I would be focused on economic development in the areas that need it.
I love the point. That's a great point. Okay, because of time, we could talk to you for hours, and we'll get you back on if you want to do it. We're talking about the differences between Republicans and Democrats. I don't know how in the hell you can literally go into a voting booth and vote for Joe Biden this next election against either Donald Trump or anybody else like a DeSantis. Come on, please tell me.
She's like,
there's no way in hell that you think that Joe Biden could continue on as president.
So I don't love Joe Biden either, right? If you want to turn on the TV in the morning and get your news and be like jazzed up, Joe Biden's not doing that for you. My response to you would be, why vote for Donald Trump?
Could I make a point?
Well, go ahead.
I mean, if it's rhetorical or not.
But just continue. Yeah, continue to answer.
So, I mean, So where to begin? So was it Monday or Tuesday this week? His civil trial and his rape case started. Okay, so
Who, Hunter Biden. Oh no, that's a paternity case.
I think Hunter Biden's more.
That's awesome, Eric.
I mean, I didn't. I
Blow
heard.
and booze is Hunter Biden.
Yeah, but
Trump's
he's
the
okay.
rape
But
guy.
Hunter Biden has a love child that his granddad doesn't even say hello to.
And Joe Biden.
Joe Biden has a grandchild that he will not even acknowledge.
So you would vote for Biden over Trump today?
But what if it weren't
Yes.
Trump? What if it were DeSantis?
Rhonda? No, I wouldn't vote for Rhonda.
What
either.
about any other Republican? Would you ever vote for a Republican?
Yes.
Would it have to be somebody who's not really a Republican, like let's say a Paul Ryan or even Tulsi Gabbard? What if she ran?
So Paul
as a
Ryan's not a Republican in this room?
No.
Is he not? Okay. So to answer your question honestly, I guess I would never vote for a Republican who's really a Republican. If Paul Ryan isn't a Republican anymore. Yeah. So again,
But let's get back to Biden. I mean, he's a clown.
He has no cognitive.
Why would you vote? Why would you vote for him? Or maybe you wouldn't pull the lever for anybody. And which is a vote. It's a half a vote anyway for a Republican.
I want to know if you could choose your own Democrat candidate, and let's say Biden was out of the picture, who would you choose? Who would you want to be your Democrat president?
You want me to pick a person, or you want me to describe a person?
No. A
Or describe
person
him.
that's on the bench right
Because I
now.
don't think anyone probably exists that fits your description. I just want to know.
Oh, that is a great question.
And feel free to talk. Nobody's going to interrupt you. Just talk. We
There's
wanna
a
hear
lot
you.
of
We can't
interrupting.
We can't
on Cancel
apologize.
This.
We
to
can't
hear
promise
you.
that. We can't promise. Me and Tabitha can't. He can't. But go ahead.
It's just like I'm at home. I can't think of a person right now. You put me on the spot with that a little bit. So I'm for limited government. I'm for personal freedoms.
You're a Republican.
I'm for not anymore. Not anymore. The Republican Party is no longer for limited government and personal freedoms. They 100% are not. Governor Mike Parson, I know that this is not just a Missouri show. The budget that he rolled out in his State of the State is one of the largest governments I have ever heard of.
Okay.
The legislation filed in Jefferson City by Republicans, them putting their hands into kitchen table issues that should be left up to families to discuss between experts and themselves at the dinner table.
Okay.
They're very much involved in our personal lives. It did not used to be like that. I will give it to you. It used to be Democrats doing that. It's Republicans now.
Okay, Joe Biden just put $1 trillion into the economy, making the inflation rate go sky high. You can't vote for that again, correct?
The inflation rate has nothing to do with Joe Biden right now. It's the
come on.
economic and
The promise
the economic crisis that Donald Trump created while he was in office by ignoring the pandemic.
The promise of $3 trillion getting dumped into the
that
economy.
argument with Joe Biden and the economy right now is the biggest bullshit.
Brittany, I told them yesterday.
Trump
that
inherited one of the best economies, and his decision to ignore the pandemic because he didn't
Brittany.
want to wear a mask
Brittany.
has us in the situation that
I
we're
told
in.
you guys, Brittany didn't
Brittany.
even have to come in. I could have
Brittany.
That
pretended to
is
be
that
here.
we are in the situation that we are in 100% because of Cheeto Dick Donald Trump. Sorry, we are.
That's not true. He came in.
Tabitha said she'd ride his little dinghy.
100%.
The stock
Nice try,
market,
guys.
the stock
Nice try.
market crashed on Joe Biden's first day because they knew it was coming. The interest rate at that point to get a house. Hold on.
We have the
interest rate.
You've been interrupting me all
I
damn day.
understand that because
we have the strongest job market in the history of the job market. Today, the GDP is up. If you can't
the
find
GDP
a job,
is down.
If you can't find
We're
a
at
job,
1%. You're nuts.
Well, we have a stronger job market
if
because so
you
many people
can't
were
find
laid
a
off.
job right now, it's because you're lazy.
Who cares about a
That's
job
true.
when
you are
That's
lazy.
true.
That is true.
And that is not
is that
because of
because
Donald Trump.
But is that because of COVID jobs
That's
that
because
left?
so many people lost their
And
jobs during
the
COVID.
jobs came back?
So many people did not lose their jobs during COVID. So many people left their jobs. They said, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. And they left their jobs and are working remotely now.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is a
there
whole
are-
other topic.
Well, there were a lot of companies that couldn't. I'm in the film industry, and there I had zero work for one full year during COVID. And so a lot of the jobs I think Biden claims he created, we created all these jobs, we put all these people back to work. They're just people coming back from COVID. He's not creating a darn thing.
Yeah, well, that's how the job market works.
And every
so can't take that from him.
and I really like you. This is no disrespect to you, but it was kind of a joke yesterday because I said, you know what? When she comes in, she's going to say everything that Biden has done.
You know, here's my thing.
That's
I
bad
don't know
right now is on Trump.
I don't know if Tabitha told you this, and I do interrupt a lot, and I'm
Yes, he does. And
I'm unapologetic
and sometimes
for that.
I slap him.
I'm unapologetic. But here's the deal. I have $100 bill.
Let's see it.
I want.
I don't believe you.
He's seen it. I want desperately for a liberal to change my mind. I want for one of you guys, not you, because you got to be able to cite the truth to change my mind. I decided to get a mortgage, and when Donald Trump was in office, was 1.7% to 2%, which was
interest rates have gone up. So is consumer spending. You can't have it both ways.
That's because of Biden. It is. We had a great economy. You know, it's true. We did so much
and then
stuff.
Trump screwed it up.
He didn't screw up anything. He didn't. He put tariffs on China. Remember when he did that? That was a good thing. Wasn't that a good thing? I understand why people hate Trump. He's very crass. He's rude. He's a playboy.
I don't understand why anyone would be considering supporting someone who's facing 38 criminal indictments just on his cover-up stuff with Stormy Daniels.
Brittany, none of that stuff is going to...
It's none of it. It's going to get thrown out. And you know
but if you're into leadership, right? If you're into leadership,
it's going to get thrown out.
You pick up, you vote for a president because of their leadership, similar to how you would want a CEO. Would you want a CEO facing
Yes, I want money.
That?
If I'm a CEO, if I'm a shareholder, and my CEO is the nastiest piece of crap on the planet, and I'm making hand over fist money on this guy, yes, because the job of that CEO is not to be a church-going boy. It's to make money.
That is not how the world. It is not. It is not. I have clients with boards and CEOs, and let me tell you, as soon as they even start to get out of line, as soon as there is a whiff of anything, even like what Donald Trump has done, they're gone. They are gone.
What has he done?
Or they cover it up.
What's he done? He's a playboy. Of course he's done that. He's a multi-billionaire playboy.
So I'm just not in a position where I'm okay with having a schmuck as my president.
Joe, hold on. This is fair. Joe Biden sent his son to Ukraine and China to go get as much money as he could to put in accounts. We're finding out about that now. And you know that because you're smart as hell. And you know that his son...
I actually don't know about this
you don't know
stuff.
anything about
you guys,
that?
I don't watch Fox News, so I don't keep tabs on Hunter Biden.
You mean they don't show it on CNN?
Wait a minute.
I don't watch CNN either.
I am curious. What do you watch?
So the news for me now is so disappointing. It's really hard to get facts anywhere. So I read a lot. I like the BBC.
PBS?
No, I don't watch PBS.
Not KMOX?
Well,
I wish in a KMOX.
We're going to have you back on.
I do KTRS.
97.1? Is that 97.1? Which 97.1? 97.1. The one that had Glover on it, but he's gone now. Which one is that?
I don't know.
But I think what I like is that you're agreeing that much of what you see in the media, regardless on what side, isn't necessarily the truth. I don't watch the news at all. I only read the news. But if you read the news, you can't avoid the stories about Joe Biden being the big guy. You can't avoid the stories about him taking showers with his daughter because it's true. His
but many liberals don't know what she does because they don't see it.
No, hold on a second. It's not that I don't see it or I'm ignoring it, right? There's only so many hours in the day.
It's disgusting.
What Hunter Biden is up to, I don't care. I'm focused on people that are in office that have votes. Those are the people that I'm focused on.
He rode on Air Force 2 to China and Ukraine to do business.
Okay.
That means that he's compromised, would you say?
I'm happy to look into this for you. I'm not trying to avoid it. What I'm telling you is when I'm consuming news, because there's only so many hours in the day, I'm consuming news about people who can vote on things, who make decisions on our taxpayer dollars.
But that's Joe Biden. And he's the one who took the shower with his teenage daughter, in which she wrote in her biography, in her diary, that it was over-sexualized as a teen. And the reason why she has the problem she does as an adult, because her father forced her to take naked sex.
Disgusting.
Showers.
I know. And if it were to Donald Trump, you guys would be able to grab me by the pussy right now.
Trust
exactly.
me. I understand.
That doesn't change the subject, though, of what Joe Biden did. And he is
I'm not up to speed on the family dynamic.
You don't want to hear anything bad about Biden.
No.
That's okay.
That's not what I said.
She's voting Biden.
Do not put
you don't want
words
to hear
in my
anything
mouth.
about him.
Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is I'm not up to speed on the Biden family dynamics. I got to.
But
you're talking to me about molestation.
Joe Biden has a grandchild that he won't acknowledge.
Okay.
What is not disgusting about that?
I wouldn't describe that as disgusting. Every family has their
So he's the president of the United States.
And
alleged president.
He's the president of the United States, and he has a child. His son made a child that he won't even acknowledge.
We're not going to make.
I don't even care about that.
Let's get to it. What about another?
Holy crap.
I don't know what that has to do with him as president.
I'm going to bet Eric, I'm going to bet.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to bet that you're with us on this one. Transgender athletes, biological males being allowed or trying to compete with women's sports. Where do you stand?
Well, I stand to protect Title IX.
Okay, so
this is a tough issue for me. I do protect title. I do.
So a man and a woman, right?
Gender affirming care. These transgendered issues for me are more kitchen table issues that government probably shouldn't have their hands on. But
there's no way in hell you would want a biological male to compete against your daughter.
No way.
No, why wouldn't? Especially after you talked about being a woman and having less rights than men.
So the reason that I'm not just full-fledged answering your question, Vic, is I want to make it clear. I very much believe in the rights of transgendered people.
So do we.
Not. And that shocks me because you guys have mostly been aligned with the extreme Republican ideology.
Absolutely not.
And we're
absolutely not.
This morning, and their extremes would tell you that people should not have rights to gender affirming care. And
that's absolutely wrong. I'm socially liberal.
We believe it for adults, just not for children.
I'm socially liberal.
So point taken.
But I do think that, especially with scholarships and how, that does come out of sports, that yes, we need to find a way to make sure that we're protecting women's sports.
There you go. So
and there's no way you support transgender surgeries for kids, is there?
So again, I support the rights of them. And if the decision that is made between them, their parents and the doctor, if that is what's best for their health, then I support it.
But what about the schools that we're hearing, like Washington University, who is?
Can you move the mic back out of your face?
I'm sorry.
No, we love seeing your pretty face, Brittany. Thank you. There we go.
We're hearing these.
I know you do.
We're hearing these reports about places like, let's say, Washington University, who are going behind parents' backs. They're not even talking to the parents. They're not getting. They're basically not getting any type of signature. They're not discussing it with the parents. They're just giving the kids the puberty blockers. They're giving the kids the lead up into the surgery without parental consent. And I would hope that you have a problem with that.
Oh, 100% I'm against that. Absolutely. And it's been a point of contention this year in public policy and state houses all around the country. I think that once the dust settles on gender affirming care, we will look back and recognize that some of the decisions that we made were based in fear and the unknown.
Yeah.
And I hope that eventually this all works does work out because
we're on the same page. I think we're on the same page. We love kids. We all love kids. We also think that the human brain is a very fickle thing, that what you believe at 8 years old isn't necessarily what you're going to believe at 26.
Right.
So I think that the society that me and you would like to live in is parents have first right of refusal to everything for our children. Correct?
I agree with that.
There you go. I mean, it's simple. Title IX thing, I love that too. I think that I have so many transgendered friends, it's unbelievable. But I wouldn't want to see one of my 240-pound guy friends go up against a 150-pound girl in basketball. I just think that's unfair. And we'll build you your own team or go play with the guys. I think that that's fair as well. Your team as a transgender female, would you agree with this? Go play with the dudes.
Yeah.
Just go play with the dudes. You're fine. Let them deal, and they might love it in the locker room with you. I mean, they probably would. They have no problem with that.
Well, can I say one thing before we end?
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes.
Brittany, I just want to say that, and I told the guys this yesterday. I have so many liberal friends. I have a transgendered niece.
Okay.
I have a lot of people in my family who are doing all kinds of different things, and so I think in the end, liberals, even the most progressive liberals, even the most far right Republicans, in the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want to lead happy lives. We want to protect our children. We want to live in a safe society. We just have different ways of getting about it.
Yes, I very much agree with that. I very much love if we're ending on that point. And I hope that we can get back to a point when we're discussing politics and public policies, that our differences make us stronger.
And I think they would if we had more discussions like this, because I think we're talking about the most extreme topics today.
Yeah.
There's so much middle ground. I think that if we had more conversations like this, we would find that we really have so much more in common than we do.
Well, can we bring you back for certain topics?
Yeah, Vic, I would love to come
For
back and
certain
talk about topics like infrastructure, things that create jobs.
Amen, sister.
Improve
Hell
education.
yeah.
How about some potholes?
Those things. That's the kind of stuff I'm about.
Somebody wanted to know real quick too. Do you have faith of any kind, spirituality, and if so, what is it? They were just curious.
Sure, I'm a Catholic. My husband and I actually were confirmed together
Nice.
at Our Lady of Lourdes Parish in
That's
University
awesome.
City a couple years ago. And then, because we weren't married in the church, when we had our daughter, we surprised everyone and were married, and then baptized her immediately.
Love
So
it.
our faith is very important to us.
Love it.
Is there anything that you want to talk about with Tucker Carlson? He's amazing, isn't he?
Oh my God, I'm so fascinated by all the media shakeups last week. Tucker, it's not just Tucker, the head of NBC, he's out.
Yeah, that got overshadowed.
Whoopsies. And
of course,
Don
Don
Lemon.
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 None of us are pronouncing it right. Lemon.
I didn't know it was Lemon either.
And it's funny that he made it at the end of his career. Did he actually tell people what his real name is? He's like, all these years, people have been pronouncing my name wrong.
Hey, by the
It's
way, before we
Lemon.
get out here with you, do you need to advertise for a new babysitter?
Oh no, I already replaced her.
Oh, you did. You
Yeah.
took
With
care
Vic
of
Faust.
I'm no slouch.
Vic is free on Friday and
Hey,
Saturday nights.
Brittany, by the way, can you promote your company again if anybody needs or is
Sure.
interested?
Strategic Capital Consulting. We're also known as SEC. We are one-stop shopping for government affairs, business development, public relations, and strategic communication.
And by the way, I used her. It was very, 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 very happy with her. And guess what? You can differ on political opinions and still use business people. It works. It can work. Brittany,
We
thank-
just have to get her vote Republican, then we'll be
No,
okay.
that's not
Someone
happening.
just said Satan visits the Catholic Church frequently.
Oh my God.
That's mean.
Who
Let's-
said
well, it's
that? I
not
hope
Brittany.
they have a shitty weekend.
It's not Brittany, that's for sure.
Hey, Brittany, thanks for dealing with it. We'll get you back on. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, Brittany Robbins, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I loved having Brittany on. I'm glad that we
I
had
did
her on.
too.
See, the thing is, it goes so fast, and you can have some great conversations. I think we need to take her with one topic and then just let her.
No,
go
I
for a
think we
while.
need to have her do
And
like.
we'll have her.
I think the next time that
Next
you're
time, I actually want to hear her talk. How
Next
about
time,
that?
I don't want to hear her talk at all. I want her to take one of those multiple choice tests where you like just fill in the blank, and we just ready to go. Would you vote for Joe Biden? A, yes. B, no. C, not just no, but hell no. C, not just no, but hell no. Anyway, thank you, Brittany.
It is
Next
interesting.
time, we'll let you talk more. We're going to put a muzzle on Eric.
Yeah, okay.
She said I would appreciate that.
No, and we thank her for coming in from that standpoint. Well,
Yes, we do.
when we switch gears from Brittany, and it's interesting talking about some of the subjects, but once again, it's hard for our listeners to understand, but there are more Brittany's in St. Louis County than there are people listening to
Eric,
cancel this.
soccer moms.
I mean, there just are. But
You're doomed, Tabitha. I'm sorry.
Why am I doomed?
Tabitha, you, my friend, are never going to win an election again. The Drew Collinses of the world and the Brittany's of the world will absolutely destroy
Well, there's
you.
more of us than them, but they cheat better than we do.
That's not about cheating. It's about you're never going to change the mind of the majority, which are
They are not the majority.
They are the majority.
We are the majority.
Oh my God! Look who's in front of us.
I know. And
Do you know
now
who this guy is?
And guys, now we welcome
Do you
in.
know who this guy is?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
He's a cancelthisshow.com fan and advertiser.
No.
Our friend Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal. And he is never afraid to come on and talk. What'd you think of Brittany?
Hold on. He's the light guy for Platinum Rock Legends.
Wait a second. What?
Yeah, he's the lighting director of PRL.
You know this
I've even
guy?
got an assistant now.
Wait a minute. So you've been demoted? You're an
Yeah.
assistant, a full-on assistant?
No, I've got an assistant in the band now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got many assistants.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We pay
Jonathan
nobody.
Heslop. Hey, welcome
job.
into the show. Thank you for jumping in.
Great to be
and
here.
doing some advertising with us as well. You're no stranger to radio either. Promote what you've been doing, because the thing I love about you is that you're a super, super successful business owner, and we'll talk about Rockwood and the charcoal that you sell. But you've been a voice on conservative radio throughout the St. Louis area for some time.
A little bit of time on another station and still doing some advertising with them. But before that, I worked for as a pilot for Channel 2, 4, and 5. So got a little bit of exposure back in the day as a pilot. So just dabble in media as well as charcoal and real estate and other things.
And lighting for Platinum Rock
And
Legends.
lighting. That
my
is
God.
the most important thing.
He's not very good at lighting, but he's
can
great
I-
at charcoal.
Can I say something? I love charcoal. It's one of my favorite things. People may not
She
know
rolls
this
around
about
on
me.
it at night in her bed.
I'm very particular about my charcoal. I have a giant smoker that'll smoke probably 1,000
Hey, now.
pounds a
Oh
week
my God, this is going down
at a
really
time.
bad. Yeah.
And I order my charcoal online, and when they deliver it, it's like there's all these boxes outside of my front door. It's one of my favorite things, and it's so particular. You have to have the right.
Tell us about your product and where people can get it and why it's so good, bud.
Well, it's 100% Missouri product, and Missouri is the #1 state in the country for charcoal production, and it's because of the wood source. Most of all the hardwood that's used for flooring, cabinets, furniture, pallets, railroad ties, that all comes from Missouri and the Mark Twain forest. So all the offcuts of that, all the pieces that can't be used, they're too knotty, warped, or can't be made into
That's interesting.
Yeah, all the pieces that can't be made into the hardwood lumber that's otherwise going to be thrown away, that comes to the charcoal plant.
Wow.
So we turn that into charcoal, lump charcoal, and then we ship it out all over the country. So when I started this, it was a little side business because I was a bored helicopter pilot. As fun as that job sounds, it's actually pretty boring because you're sitting around most of the day. And I started having all these kids and thought I got to have another little source of income. And this was just a little fun thing on the side. And next thing I know, it's all over the country, and it's the #1 consumer ranked brand for the last 9 years.
Yeah,
and,
baby. That's right.
Yeah, and it's coming up on the 10-year anniversary next week.
He is always at the governor's mansion too. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we had some pictures with him at the governor's.
And you have
mansion as
lump
well.
charcoal, which is my favorite kind.
That's correct. Yes. So the briquettes have all kind of other nasty stuff in it. The briquettes were popularized by Henry Ford as a way to get rid of all the waste on the Model T assembly line. And now they use them. They put anthracite in them. They put starch, borax, sodium nitrate, a lot of limestone. There's a lot of rocks, gypsum in those briquettes. That stuff that doesn't burn.
And lump charcoal is just that.
It's just wood.
It's just wood.
It's just wood. We've got
and that's what I use.
2 ingredients: wood and fire.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all that goes in.
Where do you sell? I mean, where can somebody go and find your charcoal?
So in St. Louis, it's about 120 stores. Just about any hardware store, butcher shop, any Deerberg, Straub's. A lot of stores like Wine and Cheese, Randall's, fine wines and food stores, and even some funny places sometimes, like transmission shops.
What?
Gun stores.
That's awesome.
If they want to carry it, they're more than welcome to. So
and this kind of charcoal, and trust me, I search everywhere for charcoal. It's not the easiest to find. Usually, what you're going to find is the briquettes, and I only use the lump.
Correct. The briquettes are, like I said, are full of all kinds of nasty stuff, and they're cheap, and that's why they're so popular. But the problem is that half of those things don't burn. So you're buying a bag of stuff that doesn't burn. Whereas a bag of lump charcoal, if it's properly kilned, you're gonna burn the entire 20-pound bag, and you're gonna be left with a handful of ash.
This is fascinating. I had no idea.
So you're getting a lot more BTUs in the bag. Basically, you're buying a premium fuel rather than something.
And you don't
mixed
have
with
to
a bunch
use
of fillers.
the chemicals on it, and it's not
Correct. Yeah,
nasty.
absolutely. That's the worst thing you can do is to use the lighter fluid on lump charcoal because it'll soak it up like a sponge.
What about farm stores? Are you located in any farm store?
Yeah,
Rural King, Farm and Store, any of those places?
RP Hearth and Home. That's more of an Illinois chain, but outside of St. Louis, it's in upwards of 10,000 stores. It's hard to keep track on which stores it's actually in at any given time, but you can find it at any Ace Hardware, RP Lumbers, like I said, RP Home and Harvest. A lot of food service distributors are starting to carry it now. And last but not least, even though we hate it, it's on Amazon. If you can't find it anywhere else, you can go on our website and buy it, or you can go to the.
Does anybody buy it on Amazon?
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
did it really?
I can see that.
We had 50 boxes ship out yesterday on Amazon.
Just because of Amazon?
And it's more expensive on Amazon because I've got to pay the man on there, and it's terrible. I don't like selling on there, but I have to.
Why don't you like selling on Amazon? I'm just curious.
The amount of the percentages that they take. This could be a whole podcast on the evils of Amazon and what they do to small businesses. But
well, the next time you're on, we'll talk some about that.
Because
absolutely.
But it comes down to the advertising portion of it that I have to bid on my own company name on Amazon so that my competitors don't show up first when somebody searches.
But if it sells through them or it sells through you, does it really matter?
It's moreover, it's where the money's going.
I got to find out about this. That is we got to do a whole
fascinating.
podcast.
We could do a whole.
Please.
Do you have a hickory version or any other versions?
So any Missouri lump charcoal that's going to be made here is going to be mostly oak and hickory. Because that's what's coming out of the Mark Twain forest. There can be other woods in there. There can be maple, cherry, pecan,
but you don't
things like
specify it. Yours
no,
is just
because
hardwood.
the way when you carbonize it properly to 80-85%, there can be just about any wood in there. You're not going to tell the difference because the kilning process has cooked out all the volatiles in it that are going to produce any smoke. So charcoal is your clean cooking fuel, and then we also sell the smoking woods that you add back in.
Okay,
that's where I was going.
There you go.
Apple, cherry, hickory, maple, pecan, peach, all those different smoking
Interesting.
woods. So you control then the intensity and the flavor profile by using those. If you're using a smoky charcoal that's under kiln or a briquette, you can add as much apple in the world as you want. You're not going to taste it. You're only going to taste what the charcoal tastes like because they didn't kiln it properly.
Well, my big smoker, I use hardwood, just hardwood like what you brought in here. Okay. And then I throw in like some flavor for like the first hour, and then I go back to the hardwood.
Okay. Yeah. Are you a big? I didn't even know that. Are you a big barbecuer?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Really? I did not know that.
She's a super smoker.
And you're doing it right because the meat or the protein that you're cooking only really absorbs that smoke for the first couple hours until it hits a temperature, and then it really can't take anymore. So you're doing it,
So does that look like you would want to try that Rockwood?
Oh, I think that's what I have at home.
Really?
That's why I keep bending over looking at the bag. I'm like, I think that's.
So
what
I was wondering what you did. I was like, what is she looking at?
If you don't, here's the way to check. Everybody that listening, here's how to check to see if you have good hardwood lump charcoal. Is take it out of the bag and take a piece. If you cannot break it apart by hand, it is not properly kilned. You still have wood in the bag. You have a charred piece of wood. You don't have charcoal yet. So it should make
You should be able to break it.
Break it apart by hand. If you drop it on the ground, it should shatter. It shouldn't go thud. If it goes thud, it's still wood. It's wood fiber that's holding it together. And then wood fiber has water in it. So now you're paying for something that's more heavy. That's heavier than carbon.
It's fake charcoal.
You got it. Yeah.
It's real charcoal.
And that's what happened.
The original.
And what's going on is that the biggest threat to the U.S. charcoal industry, and which is primarily Missouri, is all the charcoal that comes in from across the border. And this stuff, they can go out, they can tear down the entire rainforest. There's zero laws enforcing. We can't take down a tree for making charcoal. We can only get the remnants of it. So that somebody else isn't using in the logging industry. And then they have to have a plan to replant that tree. Down south of the border, you can take down a whole forest. You can use slave labor to do it. And then you can pump as much particulate into the atmosphere as you make that charcoal. So they have zero cost in production, basically. It's only the cost to get it into this country.
Yeah, it sounds like something from China.
Yeah, it's mostly Central America, South America, where this comes from. And so all of our emissions are fired to 1,500 degrees to burn off the particulate. It's a very strict process in the state of Missouri. And that process, funny story, did not come into effect until Governor Carnahan's brother sold his charcoal plant. That's when the EPA was allowed to come into Missouri in the 90s and start regulating charcoal. I've done in my history.
You're giving us fantastic lessons. It's at Chinooks, isn't it?
No, Deerbergs.
Deerbergs. Okay.
Not Chinooks yet. Deerbergs and Straub's. Yeah, you can get it at either of those stores. And it's always the 20-pound bags. Now, it used to be just the 10-pound bags at Deerbergs. Now it's the 20-pounders.
Hey, Eric talked about it. You become friends with Governor Parson, huh?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I'd been out there to go. So the Buy Missouri program, Governor Parson had started that when he was still lieutenant governor.
Hey, Projo, can you please show the picture?
Yeah. Yeah, we got the family up here.
Yeah. I just want to
show the picture where Parson's in the delivery room for his kids.
Oh, there we go.
Just kidding.
Yeah, that was Monday night out at the governor's mansion. I'll give you one guess of what kind of charcoal the governor uses.
Heck yeah, he's using Rockwood.
Yeah, so
I would name my band Rockwood.
He had started the
tonight at the pageant.
the Buy Missouri program when he was lieutenant governor, which we're all
I remember it.
Yeah, we're all in on the Made in America, Made in the USA programs and towns trying to buy local and everything. Well, this is kind of bridge the gap in the middle. That Buy Missouri is the name of the program.
What are some other products in Missouri that besides charcoal that he's pushing that you know?
A lot of part of the group. I was in the first dozen that was in the group, and then we expanded from there. It's up to like 500 now, and we had a show at the Rotunda in the Capitol last 2 Wednesdays ago that we got to exhibit. There was about 50 companies there, and it's all kinds of things from jams and honeys and meats and foods and everything. But there's all kinds of other
I love that.
lot of wood products like cutting boards but I mean there's even squeegees are made in Lynn, Missouri. And I got one, and it works great in my warehouse for cleaning off
Our
the water.
drummer,
I just bought
our
one.
drummer Patrick actually makes high quality. What are they? They're cutting
He makes
boards,
cutting
right?
boards. They're fantastic.
He sells high quality cutting boards.
I'll have to get one.
Do you have any
I-
quick
I love
tips
cutting
before we let you go about barbecuing, getting the charcoal ready, anything of that nature?
As far as everybody on the internet now
Timing, anything?
has a great way to do something, and they have their little trick of where you put the wood on the top or the bottom. I tell you, 90% of that stuff doesn't matter.
Amen.
It comes down to, if you have a method that works for you, that's great. Don't buy into all of the little quick fixes and everything. Start with a good fuel. Start with a smoker that that you're experienced with, and then start with a good piece of meat. I mean, I'd say more than 50% of it is the actual piece of meat. That's what they say with brisket is the cow drives the cook, right? So those are the three things. Is start with the primaries.
And yours
then go
lights
from
very
there.
easily. What I do, somebody on the comment line asked, well, how do you do it? I put just a small piece of paper rolled up, and I take one of your little brick cuts, and like you said, they break apart. I break it in half and make like a little pile between my little paper and that. And then I put the other briquettes above it, and then it lights very easily.
You can
I have
you
no
can
problem.
do that. You can use a chimney starter. You
Exactly.
can use little paper towel with some oil on it. I mean, you can use rubbing alcohol. Whatever you do, just don't use the lighter fluid, because that's made out of petroleum byproduct.
Takes like an hour to burn off.
Yeah, and it soaks the lump charcoal is very porous. It soaks it up like a sponge, and that's what your food's going to taste like if you cook with that.
Oh, I've been there, done that.
I've done that a million times.
It's not really a bad taste. It's just not good
don't
for
use
you.
that. Don't anything but that. Personally, I use a torch. I can't put that on the website or advertise that the torch is the best way to because of the liability of it. But seriously, a torch, a heat gun, anything light fire with fire.
What about pellets?
That's amateur stuff. Don't use
That's what I
I'm
thought.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Somebody was asking.
I will not use
I'm
pellets.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I will not use pellets.
No, the pellet smokers were a great thing to bring people into barbecue because they're very easy to use. You set it and forget it kind of deal. As people have purchased those now, we've seen a lot of them come over to charcoal because they want the flexibility, because the pellet grill, it's kind of like a smoky oven. Especially the cheaper ones.
Yeah, I got one. You want it?
It's a smoky oven, yeah. But
I hate it.
The better ones, the higher quality, the Yoders, the Smoking Brothers ones, you can do some high temperature grilling and other things on those.
What about those eggs?
They're great. Big Green Egg. That's what I learned to cook on as a kid. Long before anybody in St. Louis knew what they were, we had one, and they were $299.
But now they're $1,000.
And now they're $1,500.
$1,500.
Oh my God!
Grill?
Yeah,
It looks like a Weber Early Green.
I was a dealer for him for several years. I was a dealer for Kamado Joe. I love the Kamado cooking. They're fantastic, and you can cook you can do anything.
Can we do this before it gets too hot? Can we do a grill here? Can we do a barbecue here? At,
you can do one right outside. Yeah.
Can we?
But here's,
Can we talk
if we
to
have
Kevin?
a grill, we have a phone, we have a grill, and then we could do a segment.
And grilling and smoking.
Can we do that with
are
one of
very
your
different.
segments?
Because I believe Tabitha she would knock it out of the park.
I am an excellent barbecuer, griller, and smoker.
We'll put you outside with
I'm in.
Rockwood
Let's do it.
Charcoal, and we'll make it happen.
I'm a connoisseur. I don't know how to do it, but I will tell you if it's good or not.
And you're going to cook for Eric and I. Is that cool?
Is that all right?
That would be fun.
Can I tell you it sucks if it
That'd be
sucks?
fun.
And
Of course you
Projo.
can. But just so you know, I cook low and slow, so it's going to
It's
take
going to take
a
a
while.
while. Yes, and that's the right
It's
way to
gonna
do
take
it.
a while.
Absolutely, low and slow.
Hey, by the way, you're jumping in, canceltheshow.com. We'll have commercials running. Go ahead, try the charcoal, and then they can find it at those stores that you were
Buy it on
talking about.
Amazon.
Yeah, if nothing else, just go to the website, rockwoodcharcoal.com, and you can, if you don't have a store that's convenient, buy it off our website. Don't buy it on Amazon. You're going to save money if you buy it off
And
the
if you
website.
want to see Jonathan in spandex and a wig, come out to Helen's this Saturday
That's
night.
true.
You think I'm lying, Vic?
I need a picture.
Vic, you think I'm lying?
I've seen him in spandex in the wig.
As have I.
I met Jonathan for the first time. He was wearing his wig and spandex, and he's like, dude, we went to the same high school.
And he has a better
And I was there with you. I was standing with you.
and he's got a better in-ear system than I have. And he's the Jonathan, we got to have a talk.
We've had some fun. Why weren't you and you weren't at band practice last night. So
Was there a band practice
He
last
was still
night?
hungover
I
last
guess you're
night.
not on the super secret text thread now. So
Uh-oh.
Damn,
I am getting axed. I know it. I can feel it in my gut.
this one's for light guys and lead singers only. So
Okay, that's fine.
Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal. Appreciate you jumping in, my friend. Thanks
Thank
for educating us when it comes to charcoal as well. What a show, guys. Man, oh
What
man,
a
oh
show.
man. What a show, what a show, what a show. And you won't want to miss tomorrow for our Paranormal Free-for-All Friday.
Yeah.
We have Lily Nova coming into studio. We've already told you
I'm
about
already scared.
an intergalactic channeler, a cosmic channeler.
I've seen her. She was on George Norrie's show.
Yes, yes.
I can't wait. I'm so jealous. I want to be on George Norrie's show. Can you work that out for me, Vic?
What would you
Kinda
bring
like
to
a
the
Make-A-Wish
table?
kind of thing.
Sure.
What would you bring? I mean, what would you be an expert in as far as that goes?
I'm not an expert.
I would
in
listen. I'm
anything.
just-
I just want to talk about it.
Hey, George, how are you
Nobody
doing?
is an expert
Hey,
in UFOs.
How's your mustache look
George,
so good?
There's no
Tabitha
UFO
will
expert.
cook for you and give you feet massages.
Well, I don't
Foot
like
massage.
feet, so maybe something else.
I can't stomach that right now.
I can't
know. I
either.
got you. You're not a foot guy. I get it. It's all
I
right.
can't stomach that while they're eating eggs and
Most people don't like feet,
I love
including me.
Oh, I like feet.
Can you imagine here?
I made Pro Joe laugh.
Take this. Tabitha,
That's not easy to
Tabitha
do.
Hassel giving George Norrie a foot rub
Oh
while
my
eating
God.
while
Say
eating
that.
while eating bologna
I
sandwiches.
love George Norrie, but I don't want to touch it.
Guys, thanks for watching this episode of CancelTheShow.com, April 27th. For Pro Joe, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust. Special thanks to Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal. Don't get any other charcoal. Go check out Rockwood Charcoal. And when you do, let us know. Let us know so we can show your pictures. If you want to send us pictures, we'll show it. Tell us your stories, your experience with it as well. And also special thanks to Brittany Robbins as well. We'll have Brittany back on. That's what we do. We take one topic and just hammer it.
The problem with Brittany is she doesn't bring facts. She doesn't
She
bring
thinks she
facts to the table.
Well,
And
she thinks she does.
but she doesn't. And she only lives inside of the world of, and this is all liberals, they live inside of the world of ideology. And ideology it's not going to get you very far.
I'm glad. I am so glad she joined us. I really like Brittany. I hope she joins us again because I would really like to hammer out some of the. We hit her with the fringe stuff today, the big talking
I
points.
tell you what,
Let's
next time
talk
we
about
have
some
her
other
on,
stuff
next time we on, I agree with that. And I won't even talk. I won't even come into the show that day. But here's the deal.
Stop.
I want you to bring her facts on how global warming is happening right now. That's all I want. I want her
We
to
did
come.
already. I mean,
I
there's
want
not
her to
science
come up with her charts.
Well, she's outside the lobby. We'll go talk to her.
I want her to bring her charts, and I want her to understand that I want her to square it with what happened
think the
10,000 years ago.
I think the next time we just need to talk about more issues that we can all agree on.
All right.
Because there are issues out there we can.
CancelThisShow.com. We'll see you tomorrow for a great Friday show. Have a great day.